Good. fits whatever the life drain. Empiric bite's what it's called. I can send you a description of it.
Yeah, I know. I see an vampiric bite. All right, so welcome everybody to session 9 of Group 4. How is everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Okay.
Very good.
Good.
Yeah.
Sleepy, but good.
Maybe. Okay.
I'm
So
definitely not currently chugging an energy drink. It's okay.
I'm gonna raise up that volume real quick. Okay, so where did we leave off last session?
Believe Karen just came.
Yeah. that's the
New faces.
new faces, new faces, a lot of weird shit. I think Viserys had a mental breakdown. Um,
Oh yeah.
and, and he hasn't even met Karan yet, who just showed up at your doorstep. But yeah, so we're just going to wait a second because Spencer should be right here in a few minutes. Hopefully, he said he'd be there soon. 4 minutes ago, so hopefully that's sooner. But yeah, I'm slowly realizing more and more what I haven't done yet, and it always seems to happen like as soon as the session starts. So we'll just quickly wait on Akamero or Spencer to show up, and while I do that, I'm gonna quickly do another thing. Okay, so I finished the little thing, and Spencer is still not here, so I think we're gonna move on without him at the moment. John and Sammy, you two should have a new handout for your vestiges. But yeah, with that all said, is everyone good to go? Nobody left on me, did they? I apologize.
I'm here.
Nope.
I'm gonna
I
read
have
this
not
list.
left.
We're here.
Okay. All right. So, yes, we last left off as you all had returned to the as you had all watched Alephus leave Domus and make his way back to the Windbreaker. From there, Lokir had. Wow, just as I was about to begin. Okay, perfect on timing.
Perfect.
Hello. That could not have been more perfect of a timing because we were just about to get started.
Cool.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm living.
Yeah, it it's so great to live sometimes.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Anyways, so yes, something real quick. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so yes, last we left off, you all had left. No, not you. Captain Alephus had left Domus as he was going to discuss certain plans and a plan of action for the oncoming onslaught from the Ilios with the Asphodel Syndicate. From the eyes of the Raven, from the eyes of his Raven, Lokir had watched and throughout this entire interaction saw that Pluto plans to disseminate the Asphodel Syndicate across Cerdonia, while you all are being assigned to find the rest of the vestiges. The Asphodel Syndicate are disseminated to warn the different factions and the different cities that are currently about to be attacked by the Ilios of that impending danger. You had found some new people along the way, as Morgan had joined under the behest of Pluto himself, having requested that at least one ally of one familiar face of the Asphodel Syndicate would join your party, just to be the moral compass and to be the voice of the syndicate. And Sutton had joined the party after being pulled by their patron to ally themselves with yet another ally, yet another worshipper of a similar patron, with both of them wielding the two vestiges of the Nahuatl that were claimed by the Raven Queen. With that all said, you all had discussed how you would plan to go about all of this, made some introductions, sent somebody off the tortoise onto the dock area, and as Viserys had a small mental breakdown and went back to the Windbreaker just to feel at home for a second, you all had been confronted as this ghastly, large visage of a skeletal man with all these different armaments and like an ancient relic of a bygone era, Karan, and approaches and is now standing in the doorway of Domus as he says, "I believe I am to be your representative, and you are to be my convoy."
I believe that is correct, yes.
You would assume so. Gosh, it's ghastly to look at.
It's good
He
to
kind of
see
just
you.
stares for a second before he says, "Very well. My name is Karan. I was once one of the defenders of the vestiges of the Nahuatl. I should be easily able to persuade these golems from the island of Polyphemus to join our efforts. Shall we make our departure?"
So as long as no one has any objections, I'm ready to set sail.
I
Gotta get our
suppose we
weapons
should-
from Hephaestus, though.
Ooh, correct.
At least some of us do before we make the voyage.
Very
Alright
well.
then.
I shall remain here if that is fine. Where perhaps may I be able to stay for this time being? As he kind of looks at the very crammed and small cottage on top
That's
of Domus.
not in the tortoise.
We're getting a bit crowded in here. I mean, it wasn't meant to house 7 people at this point, but here we are. I'm
I
sure
understand.
we
I
can make
shall
some
remain-
space in the back for
It
you.
is all right. I shall remain within the underworld for the time being. I will come to
Wait,
you
what?
at sunrise when I return. And he turns around and leaves.
That's kind of creepy. World?
Yeah, well, he seemed friendly enough at least.
Looks like some of the things I slaughtered, but even more primeval than them. Ugh.
Okay. so as the sun is setting, basking the gleaming city of Ithaca in this warm glow, in this deep warm glow, what would you all like to do with your evening?
Rest.
Rest. Okay.
Cook a big meal before we go to bed. Just a big
Some of us
meal.
are hurting. We were playing around with our spells, unfortunately.
Yeah, I kind of got to heal up from getting thrown across, a
Oh
ways.
yeah, the hammer does its job.
Oh yeah.
All right. So you all attempt to find some place to sleep in here. This is not the exact layout. I've been meaning to make an actual map of Domus. I just took a little cottage map, cropped it onto the back of a tortoise, and then just said, "Good to go." But there's
It
probably
still works.
there's probably the general layout where it's just one big room and then it splits off into smaller rooms in the back corner. But yeah, look here. I'm assuming you
Higher the
returned.
ceiling.
You have your own bed, and everybody else just tries to find somewhere else to place themselves amongst the tortoise.
Yeah, pretty
So,
much.
Okay.
how high are the ceilings, Lokir? It's your turtle. How high are they?
I don't
Ceilings.
know, normal house metrics. So,
I mean, the building is like the building on top of Domus is basically just like a big, like, it's almost like a big triangle. So there's like a point. So at like the highest point, it's probably like 10 feet tall.
Oh, I see. I'll just sleep on the ceiling then. Plenty of space up there.
Okay.
Alright. That definitely helps.
oh,
Are we supposed
you're
to be on the map of
comfortable.
Donus right now, or are we still on the continent map?
You are on the map of the
Yeah,
continent
okay.
at the moment. I just forgot to add you back to Domus. Yes. Sorry about
That's
that.
my bad for not being logged in one time. Also, by the way, you did not do that picture you sent in the Discord does not do that map justice. It looks much better when you get up close on it.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Sleeping on the ceiling now.
Okay, so Arya sleeps on the ceiling. Does anyone also have like a specific place they're gonna sleep, or are they just gonna try to find a nice cozy place on the floor?
Hmm. That's
Okay.
I think
Okay.
yeah, four it is.
Okay. So, you all get your nice little beauty rest as you all can gain the benefits of a long rest. Ooh, just left. Okay. You all gain the benefits of a long rest as the night passes by. Uh, nothing 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 too bad. Sammy, are you back with us?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Your message just came in about the internet. I'm sorry about that. When did you get cut off?
It was right when we said that we were just gonna go to sleep.
Okay. So yeah, you all go to sleep somewhere within Domus. You all gain the benefits of a long rest as the night passes by. Nothing really eventful happens, and you all wake up. We'll start with Viserys because he's probably gonna wake up earlier than all of you because he went to bed a lot earlier than all of you. So Viserys, at about time works a little bit differently here. There's it's a much larger clock. But about 16 hours into the day, 64 hours in a day. So about sunrise, you find yourself just waking up. Nothing really wakes you up. You just find yourself waking up in like this comfortable bit of like, oh yeah, I've had enough sleep. You kind of like instinctively like sit up and look around, and you can see one of the there's like a couple bounty hunters that have kind of dotted this level that you're on, kind of just sleeping on the floor. There's not really anything they can sleep on. They've probably got their like bedrolls out, but that's about it. Probably the most they're mostly human, probably different races, probably a few different races. One of the most prominent is actually a massive were shark that looks like a hammerhead shark, just resting like closest to you compared to the rest of everybody else. Jason, you're muted. I don't know if you know that.
Well, that better.
Yep.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah, Viserys, the splitting headache after a few too many ales. Um,
You didn't have any. You didn't really have any ales last night, so you're pretty. So you're pretty well awake at this point. You kind of just went straight to the
okay.
windbreaker and fell asleep.
Um, yeah. Okay then. When rested and of where he actually is, quietly as possible, so as to not disturb people he doesn't know. Viserys straps up, his gear and tiptoes silently out of the windbreaker up the stairs, out onto the main deck.
Go ahead and
Steps
make
off
a
onto the dock.
go ahead and make a stealth check to try to maneuver around the sleeping mercenaries.
Okay.
Okay, so you kind of try to like shuffle around, but you realize you're wearing this like very heavy armor that's kind of like clinking around. It's like one of those phenomenons where like at the middle of the night where you're intentionally trying to be silent, every single one of your movements is so fucking loud. So you kind of just like try to move around, the floor is creaking underneath of you, and you can just see the were shark kind of just like shuffle and almost like turn around just. But aside from that, nothing really too eventful. You step up and you step up out of the kind of scaling. You're on the third floor, so like there's like four of them, and you're at like the second bottom, and you make your way back up to the top deck, and at the rail across the ship at the railing of the deck is Captain Alice, kind of just looking on from the railing at the city that is currently being basked in this morning glow of the sun as it rises up.
Okay. Viserys, making his presence known. Doesn't want to sneak up on this captain. Um, stands off from probably about 5 feet. And morning, Captain.
Uh, he kind of acknowledges your. He doesn't really seem to acknowledge your kind of making your presence known, but as you say, morning, Captain. He kind of he's just looking off. At this point, closer up, you can see there's like a grim expression on his face, almost a bit like in deep thought or melancholy, as he just looks and he just says, "You don't have to call me that. I know you hate it as much as I do."
That's true. But the callings of being a good leader is to give proper respect at all levels. Yeah, and as much as I may not agree with it, you have been given the station of captain of the Windbreaker.
He gives like
I'll
a
accept
slow
it.
like he gives a slow nod of acknowledgement. He hasn't made eye contact with you yet. He's still just staring off at the sea, and he just stands there as he says, Viserys, I hope you understand that that it was everything that happened was nothing but coincidence. I don't think I have to go into detail exactly what I mean. It was just a wrong place, wrong time, orders were given. We had nothing to do with Zephyrus. But I want you to know that I never had any intention to kill anyone or murder anyone. Not that night, at least. And we didn't. I want you to know that somebody else had done that to Zephyrus. And it's most likely someone on the A&Es. But we could play victim
You know
blaming
why?
all we... Sorry, what'd you say?
Sorry, just interjected. Been racking my brain, trying to figure it out. Why?
I believe
Why was he murdered?
it was because he was... The truth was revealed to him. A little bit too early and a little bit in the wrong situation. And whatever his reaction was to it was not one whoever told him was hoping for. Now we were just there simply to steal the fastest ship in the fleet. It was plain and simple. Steal a ship, blame it on the A&Es. It was a simple thing in Rosmoen. But...
Sorry, didn't mean to do that.
No, you're fine. But... I don't know where I'm going with this. I just want to inform you of that little bit of information. If I don't know if you are already aware of that or not, but I hope you know that everything I have done has been for the betterment of not only the syndicate, but for Cerdonia. Everything we are doing today, tomorrow, what we've been doing for years, at least what I've been doing, has all been for the betterment of everybody else.
A soldier, sailor, following orders.
Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit there.
Well then, I can't begrudge another sailor for following orders. I understand it was nothing personal. Part of the job.
How the hell are you so forgiving? I thought I was gonna deal with what I had dealt with last night. Screaming, shouting, bickering, protesting, everything. I came into you having a mental breakdown in front of Mylan. But now you seem so calm.
It's. I had time to recollect. And there's bigger fish to fry, as it would be. There's more important things to worry about than a petty squabble over a silly boat.
Fair enough.
Trying to save the world, we need to band together. A lot of differences.
You know, if this ship wasn't the only reason that I have been sent to Silva, I would have given it to you already. If not for this sentiment we are doing right now, then for just to get you to shut up from the last week. Well, at least I am glad we had this conversation. I'm glad we were able to get this off of both of our chests.
It's good to be on the same page. And we will see the mission through, do it all.
We will indeed. Captain of whatever the fuck that tortoise is.
Now that's not mine. That's Focus. He knows how to sail a turtle. I'm just a.
Yes, well, from the context I got from the syndicate, you have now been deemed separate from my division. So I guess that makes you captain. Captain. Unless somebody else wants to be captain. I don't know. That's your business.
I'll talk it over to the boys.
Very well. Until next time. I've got a Ceramorph infested continent to raid. For nothing.
Best of luck to you.
You
Home breeze and cool seas.
Home breeze and cool seas. Okay. So you make your way off of the windbreaker, taking one last glance at it, just to one last glance, because it something feels like it's gonna be quite a bit until you see it again. And you make your way. Where are you heading off to?
Well, look back at the ship. I say to myself, or to the windbreaker, I'll be back. And then walk back to the city, and I don't know. I stay on the dock because I'm just gonna go straight to Domus and sit outside and just kind of stare at the grandeur of the giant turtle boat. That is Domus.
It's a weird sight because it looks like, because you've seen Domus out of water. He looks like a generic tortoise. He doesn't look like he's supposed to be able to. He doesn't seem buoyant enough to be able to float on the water. Yet here he is, floating effortlessly to the point where he's still asleep and he has his head resting on the pavement like a little pillow on the docks as he's just fast asleep, eyes closed, head off to one side, head kiltered to one side as his shell just seems to keep buoyancy and just keep afloat, just sitting there. But yeah, it's quite a strange sight. But with that, as Viserys makes his way back, the rest of you all begin to wake up as the day is now yours.
Ugh. Ah. Now we're still here. Lovely.
Is it comfortable being on the ceiling like that?
It is. It helps me think a lot more. It's helped me with my own arcane blood magic. Let the blood rush to the head. Then it helps you produce more.
I guess you kind of does. Your heart doesn't beat, does it?
Only like, I think, twice every 3 minutes.
So yeah, being upside
Don't
down
really
must be
keep track.
really good for you.
Oh yeah. It is. Though I definitely miss some things about being alive, like filling my old posts, but it's all good, I suppose. I never felt as comfortable as I do now. I just walk, defying gravity, from the ceiling to the wall to the floor.
I just had to check real quick to see if you could actually do that, and yeah,
I
you can do
can.
that. It's a third level thing.
Yep.
Wild. I assumed you were hanging
Yeah.
like a bat. That's wild.
No, I'm
Yeah,
just
no,
defying
he's
gravity.
literally able
I
to
thought
walk on the ceiling without needing his hands, like an actual vampire thing.
crazy.
Yeah.
It is too early in the morning for this.
I mean, I could always bite you, brother. I haven't figured out if my condition is contagious quite yet, so
You haven't figured that
you
out
can
yet?
bite me.
You've definitely
I
bitten
haven't
people and they
tested it.
lived. Like, do we,
I've
like
bitten
have you?
people to feast on them. I haven't created spawn yet, and if I could, mean my ascension to arch captain is that much closer.
Well, I would love
I
to
don't think I
not be
can, though.
the test subject there. I like if you want to figure that out, I'm behind it. Not me, please.
Definitely. Absolutely. Well, sunshine is burning, and Physis hopefully has her weapons and goodies ready for us.
Did he say he said he'd be delivering those, or someone would deliver them in his place, didn't he?
Hmm.
Or were we supposed to go and fetch those? Eh, guess it,
That's out of character,
yeah,
because I
yeah.
don't not
You
remember.
remember that he said they would be done. He didn't really say you would have. He said he essentially kind of alluded to the fact that you'd have to go and pick them up.
Exactly, I figured. Suffice, better to go see him anyways.
It's pronounced Hephaestus.
Festus, suffice,
It's a,
whatever.
I think that's a contested thing actually, but
It's
I,
very much contested right now.
I have never heard Hephaestus. I only remember knowing that when I first
Hephaestus,
found the name, and I just
Hephaestus.
started calling it Hephaestus.
I read
Festus,
Percy Jackson when I was
Hephaestus.
in like the first grade, so all the Greek god names, I'm just like, there's the
Oh
way
yeah,
I learned to
oh
say it,
yeah.
and there's the right way to say it.
I
I just
started
know how to
learning.
spell them.
I learned of Poseidon's name, and when I was like, I don't even know. I think I was still in single digits, and for like the longest time, I was just calling him Poseidon.
That's not too far off. I just
'Cause
emphasized the
I
purr
I was
like a cat, so
perplexed
he's
at the
purr
spelling
Poseidon.
of that word. Anyway, so yeah, you all wake up. Morgan and Sutton, you don't have any commissions from Hephaestus. Do you want to follow along with them, or do you want to go to do something else within Ithaca?
I think I want to follow along.
Okay,
Oh, sweet.
Morgan.
It's your first time. Good old Ithaca. Can show you the grand old tour.
Yeah, show me what it's got to offer.
Morgan.
Mostly,
At near.
sorry.
Oh, sorry. Morgan, do you want to go along with, or are you staying? Or are you
I'm
doing something
gonna
else?
stay here and use an hour of work to make how many was it? 3 treats.
Oh.
So
Feet.
yeah,
Good feet.
You just see
I have.
you see look here in
I
the
am
corner,
sick.
Morgan. You see in the corner, Morgan has made just made a corner into like her little homemade chef kitchen area as she just begins to cook up. You said 3 of your meals.
Yep. With
Okay.
1 hour of work or when you finish a long rest, you can cook a number of treats equal to your proficiency bonus. They gain 3 temporary hit points.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Okay. So yeah,
Pretty
you can
good.
go ahead and start working
Wonder
on
if I
those.
can indulge.
I'll say, do you want to work? Do you want those to be like done by now, so you can go along with the rest of the group, or would you prefer to just stay with Domus and work on those while they go to get their Hephaestus stuff?
I mean, I would like to go with them. I want to see how Ithaca's changed since I was there.
Okay. So yeah, by the time, you just see Morgan is already awake as everybody slowly rises up, almost to this, probably to the sound of just her getting ready, getting her stuff. For some reason, I'm doing this the entire time because I'm thinking of like spatulas. on the ground. I don't know why.
I was thinking pizza. I was thinking like the pizza dough.
I was thinking some
Making
kind of
pizzas.
breakfast.
No. Yeah. What? Actually, yeah. Morgan, what do your treats look like?
Uh, oh, so I will say this time they're little honeyed cake.
Oh,
Okay.
you
Okay.
know how to treat your correspondents. Lovely.
So yeah, you all wake up to probably like the slow sounds of Morgan just finishing up on this little honey cake.
Ah, it smells so good.
Nice. I think you're gonna be my favorite person from now on.
Yes, a free meal is better. Although I still need red every once in a while.
I also did a little bit of breakfast, but out of character, we don't get any benefit from that.
Morgan needs
Oh
to
yeah,
find a
definitely.
way to make little treats that have blood in them for
There's blood.
Arya.
There's blood sausage, I suppose. I don't know if that counts.
I do have 3 vials, I think, left. Who knows?
Just don't
I'll
cook
just
the
put
meat
that
and just
on
give it
there.
to Arya.
I can eat it. I can eat it
You
rare
can eat
and
it, and it
bloody.
would be
I don't
bloody,
care.
so you'd
Lightly
have
seared.
all of the blood you need.
Sprinkle some herbs
I
on
work
it.
in
Call
the
it done.
kitchen.
Been specifically told. I haven't been specific about being a vampire, or at least half. I've just alluded to my bloodthirsty tendencies as
I
a
think
No,
demonic
you've just
being.
slept
I
on
think
the
walking
ceiling.
on the
You've
ceiling.
just slept on the ceiling and constantly talked about bloodthirst. You haven't
Presumably
alluded
also
to
Nah,
that
maybe,
at
that's
maybe you
all.
had your
that's.
arms crossed over your chest.
You've just alluded to the
I
fact
mean,
that you
yeah,
were a vampire.
I definitely alluded. You know, there's some fiends who have this capability. They're just godlike. You
I'm
know,
just role playing.
they're higher. Yeah, they're higher beings. I mean, I'm a warrior by day. Warriors bathe and sometimes drink
actually,
the blood of their enemies.
now that I think about it, Morgan, could I get a history check real quick?
Yep.
Rolling deception.
That's not. I'm not asking for your. That's not. That has nothing to do with that. How the fuck you get a nat
Dang it.
20 on that again? Stop
Don't
wasting
know.
them. I'm
Algorithm
not.
loves me.
You don't need to roll This has nothing to do with deception. Okay, never mind. Carry on.
Fully a fiend.
For me, but it's not working.
Fully a
Too
fiend, guys.
focused.
Don't you worry. Some fiends are just bloodthirsty.
Actually, because why not? I'll give you advantage because it has something to do with what you're previously been doing, before this event, before current present day. So you can go ahead and re-roll that.
Thank you. That's much better.
Oh my god. So a 4 and a
No.
5. You continue on your day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just like cooking on autopilot, still half asleep, and I'm just like, where?
Almost like sleepwalking, just doing it by hand, just doing it as an instinct. No, okay.
Oh, that's
Sleep
impressive. That's pretty impressive.
So yeah, you all wake up.
This awaits.
Are you all just straight going to Hephaestus after you all awake?
I believe that's the only thing that needs immediate attention. So
Okay. You
Or we set
open the
off
door
on a
to
grand
begin
voyage.
walking out, and Karan is already here. He's just standing like 7 feet tall in the doorway, just looking down. He's like, "I am ready to depart on this quest."
Wait in the turret. You'll be well taken care of. We got business to settle in this nice old city. We'll be back soon.
You see his little ghastly eyes kind of just squint a bit as he says, "Very well, I shall remain this time," as he kind of shifts to the side to let you all pass.
Yeah. Make yourself at home. It's cozy.
I certainly will not. As he just watches you all go. Okay, so yeah, you all exit Domus, make your way down to the docks, and you can see Viserys is just standing there watching all of it happen. Viserys, you would have just seen that Karan just erupted in a blaze of necrotic fire from in front of the doorway. Just seemingly teleported like
He
Makari
hasn't
normally does.
seen this thing, has he?
He hasn't. No,
Hasn't
this is the
seen
first time
that.
you are seeing this
Oh, no.
giant, 7 foot tall, ghostly skeleton decorated in all of these like armaments that almost look similar to the Nahuatl that you had faced. And he,
Viserys.
and
Sorry, go ahead. So Viserys, with a little bit of uh, vulnerability, is sees everybody coming off of Domus and is kind of scratching the ground with his toe, and he looks up at everyone and is like, "Good morning, everyone. I want to apologize for my outburst. I had a bit of what would call a psychotic break. I look around, and I'm surrounded by all of these powerful beings, and some of which I barely comprehend. And here I stand, just this salty sea dog, and a little bit overwhelming. But
Yes, definitely.
to have time to digest, and we have a mission to accomplish for the people, for all of Cerdonia. So to it. Then he looks up at the
Oh, yes, definitely.
Karen and goes, "What's his story then?"
He's older than time itself, and something that I don't really want to talk about. He reeks.
He is fully just like a skeleton, and you can smell it. Um, now,
The smell of death is overwhelming.
supposedly he can. If you remember the golems that nearly killed all of us, that we escaped into the cave in.
Almost died
Supposedly,
from.
yeah, supposedly he can make them not kill us.
I guess he was supposed to be, I don't know, groundskeeper or whatever. Doesn't matter, he said he's gonna help us. And the Syndicate trusts him, I suppose.
I have forgotten 2 things.
Just reminds me of my time in the Ravenloft.
Sorry, I forgot 2 things. One, Akamero, you would recognize you would recognize like
The name
Karin's
Charon as
design.
the boatkeeper.
You would recognize
okay.
Karin's design as like as very Nahuatl, and he did also mention that he was that he was one of the guardians of the vestiges, which you would have already known, like you kind of already would have been able to pick up had he not already said that. But also Mylan is there with you, and Mylan recognizes him. He says, as Mylan says, "Oh yeah, that dude is I guess that dude is part of the syndicate now, because he was defending the vestige that I had when I stole it."
Oh, fun. So you guys must have a great history then.
So you just unemployed, and he's like, "Oh well, next person who talks to me, give me a job."
Well, I didn't do well.
It's
I
impressive.
don't know. I don't know what happened. I kind of just went in to the cave, leading the syndicate into the cave to the vestige, and then he showed up. I stole the vestige. I ran out as as the syndicate was fighting this dude, and then I never saw that happen again. And now he's here. So, I guess we're friends now.
Well, that's
Very
well.
lucky he didn't kill you.
Oh, very lucky, but thankfully there was
Absolutely.
a distraction.
Oh yes, it always helps when you have distractions.
Especially when you don't really
Oh,
care
very
about
well.
those distractions.
Well, he'll fit right in with the rest of us.
Cool.
Um, unless there's anything else, shall we?
Yeah,
I
we're off
mean,
to Hephaestus.
Hephaestus.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Nicely.
You did that on purpose, Spencer. You did that on purpose.
Wait, I got confused which one was the one you said was right. I was trying to. Okay, sorry. That's my normal one. I was trying to.
Hephaestus? I have heard
Whatever.
many things, and that is not what I have heard before. Okay, so yes, you all
Hephaestus.
make your way from Domus and from the trade yard back to Hephaestus's, or well, to some people, back to, or others, for the first time, to Hephaestus, to the Forge of Hephaestus. Let me get actually some ambiance rolling, because it's been quite
That's such
quiet.
a lovely forge.
For the newcomers,
Love
just
the
I don't know.
smell.
I don't know how much experience you have with the council. Try to avoid eye
Good
contact,
side.
kind of. Just
Yes,
give them
they'll melt your soul.
let them have their radiance, and you don't look directly at them, and you don't tell them anything unless they directly ask you to tell them. That seems to be the safest way to interact with them.
So just
Yeah,
don't
definitely.
talk and don't look at them.
Unless spoken
You
to.
can look at them, yeah. Just don't give them the least possible reason to instantly evaporate your skeleton.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
We've done that before. It doesn't need to happen again.
You
Yeah,
evaporate
Hephaestus
your
is great
skeleton?
at
Not evaporated, just skin melt off bones. But we don't need to do that again.
If you want to tell me about that sometime, I'm open ears.
I am very open to that too. Just don't use that technique on me. It sounds
No, it was used
unfortunate.
on me. It was
On you?
not-
Well,
yeah.
better me. Better you then.
Yeah.
You than me.
Okay. So you all make your way through this massive city that has this large pathway down this large river that kind of branches from the ocean. And you all make your way to this massive building. This collection of buildings on the map that you all are seeing, that whole collection is just one big forge. For those of the newcomers, it's a very stark in contrast to the rest of the city. Like you can see bits of sandstone were almost used, bits and dotted about, but this looks like straight dark like steel or like some kind of very darkened metal. That it just looks very menacing, but almost sticks out like almost like a dwarven forge almost. But it is way too big for dwarves. In fact, you walk in and everything is way too big. It looks like everything was kind of just cropped and like enlarged, and that is because, well, Morgan would probably know this already, but because it's all built to Hephaestus' scale, because he's the only person in this forge. Yeah. So clanging, you hear as you're like almost like 15 feet away from the building, the massive ringing of hammer on anvil or hammer on something as it just clanging away, ringing across the city that you as you slowly get closer, and this whole building is all kind of just one big room. At one point further down, it begins to incline up to this massive podium with a large anvil on it. And standing on the opposite side of the anvil to you all is this massive, almost looks like a fire giant, but he has very human-like appearances, like a very tall, very large human. He's like huge-sized, as he is just wailing away with this very elegant hammer on this runic anvil that seems to be radiating and like pulsing with different forms of arcane all on it, as he kind of begins wailing, as he seems to be wailing away at yet the exact same, not the exact same actually, now that I think about it. Let me check something real quick. Yeah, no, it's the exact same weapon, as he is wailing away at this massive blade that, it's this large, elegant sword that is built to his scale, that has a blade that, instead of just being like a traditional blade, it kind of arcs and almost takes on the appearance of a lightning bolt, as he's just wailing away at this massive blade that is way too big for even the anvil that he's working on. As he continues wailing away, you can see bags under his eyes, like he's been here for hours, or like he hasn't slept at all. As he's just wailing away, he just looks up at one last attempt. Welcome back. As he sets the blade back down on the anvil, he says, apologies, I did not welcome you back into my forge. Your items are all ready for you all. One second. As he takes this lightning blade and just sets it on a podium, on like two pegs that are shooting out of one of the walls, and just rests it, so the blade is kind of just upside down against the wall. He says,
Looking at that lightning blade. Huh.
You did see this the previous day. This was the same weapon he was working on yesterday.
Any changes from
it's
yesterday's progression?
There's this change in coloration. It seems. Hold on 1 second. I don't know why it just started doing that. Oh yeah, because I did. Anyway, there is this. Not really change in shape. It almost looks like he had the same infrastructure as before, but a change in coloration. Originally, the previous day, you had seen this coloration of like standard steel, almost like this very deep silver kind of look to it, all across the blade. But now there is a leather wrapping on the handle, which is now this like deep brass kind of coloration, and the blade itself almost looks pure gold, with glowing runes all along, with similar glowing runes all along the actual blade of it all.
Into the final stages then, huh?
It's in the final stages.
Magnificent.
As he says, did you say that out loud, or is that just your head?
Yeah, he's just like magnificent. That's what she said. Just admiring the design.
Oh yes, I believe Zeus is on his way out of Ithaca today, so needed that ready as soon as possible. Anyways,
See.
so I have your weapon, your items. They are all fashioned and ready for you. There are a few. There is, I think, just one minor change to one of them, but nevertheless, they are all fashioned and should be quite efficient for you all. So, who would like to go first?
Why not? Let's see it, Hephaestus. Let's see the master craftsman's work.
Very well. As he
So I'd basically just take a knee and it's holding out my hands in the bowing formation.
He turns around and opens up this pulls up on this shelving unit that's on this desk, revealing an array of all these different items. And looking at them all, you kind of get the sense that these are all your weapons, and that he's kind of racked up on a shelf. There's this hooded cape that's hanging on like this little coat rack. There's the small battle axe that Viserys had offered up. There's a small insert in the shelving unit where a very small but very beautiful and elegantly etched in ruby is kind of just sitting. And also pegged up on the wall is a very elegant and very dark and ominous looking scimitar, as with just two of his little hands he kind of just pinches the handle and like holds it out in front of him before letting go, and it just begins drifting afloat in his hand as he says, well, I thought of calling it just Craven Edge, but I'll let you decide what it is. As he flicks it in your direction, and it just shoots right in front of your hand, right in front of you. It's upside down, and the blade is kind of just like floating at your chest level.
Yes. I will grab it. This is the blade I gave him, right?
This is not the blade you gave him. You didn't give him a blade because your blade, you asked for a completely new blade, and you have this.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure if you asked for. I think you asked for just a. Did you ask for just a scimitar, or did you want something like a long sword, something else?
I mean, why not? Extra D8 instead of a D6, although I prefer the finesse, so probably the scimitar.
Okay. So yeah, you have this elegant crafted scimitar that's made of this like very dark steel. There's bits of reddish runes that are kind of just pulsing all along the blade that kind of just have this like wave effect going up and up the blade.
Nice.
As you now have that weapon, which I did not make a handout for. Sorry. But yeah,
Good.
I will make that ASAP. But basically, it just it just works like a normal scimitar. It's considered magical, but when you do the attack, you also simultaneously can use your vampiric bite ability, and it doesn't
Nice.
have any like you don't waste that vampiric bite ability. I don't know if you have any like use, like a certain amount of uses you can
Yeah,
use, but
it
it's
does.
indefinite. But it's just indefinite. No, every single attack you deal does the vampiric bite ability, and you don't have to worry about expending any uses.
Nice. Oh, yes. Very nice.
And he says, "Right, who would like to go next?"
I'll go ahead and take mine if it's available.
Very good. Now, I was correct on my assumptions as he kind of very, like, he struggles a bit trying to pull it out, but he kind of eventually pinches it out of its little insert, the ruby in his hand, as he says, my assumptions were correct. In fact, this is, a shard of a ruby dragon. When a dragon dies when a dragon dies, specifically ruby and or gem and metallic dragons, their carcasses retain themselves and they simply mold into the earth over the course of time. And you appear to have in possession one of those a shard of one of those carapaces of a long forgotten gem dragon known as a ruby dragon. This still has magical properties, and I haven't been able to test this out yet because I have been working all night. So I'll leave the surprise to what you can do with it to you, as he kind of lets it go elegantly and it slowly drifts down to your place. He's being very careful with this compared to all the other stuff, because it's a very delicate ruby looking thing.
Hopefully it doesn't kill me instantly, but I will like to find that out.
But that's just the fun of it. The fear of it all.
Indeed.
So yeah, now you have the ruby of a bygone dragon.
Nice.
Oh, you lucky son of a dog.
Who would like to go next?
First steps up.
Ah, Viserys.
You have Sylvia. I'll take her now.
I do have Sylvia. As he kind of once again pinches out the small hand axe that he had on holstered on two pegs in the little shelving compartment, and he holds it up in his hand. He says, I have given it a recalling property, so once you attune to it, as he kind of flicks it in his hand, and it goes, and it like soars across the room before like a boomerang, just flies back into his hand. into his 2 fingers as he says, "And I did a little special thing. Next time you're in combat, I'd recommend spitting on the blade." As he flicks it off into your direction, and it comes flying towards you before coming to a straight stop, like 5 feet away from you. And by spitting on it, I mean specifically with your acid breath. Will do some good.
There's my pretty girl. Who's my pretty girl? You're my pretty girl. And reaches out to gingerly grab the handle of the axe, and he's muttering to it, like, "You're my pretty girl. Look at you, you're all shiny."
He can hear you,
he like
and he's just looking
takes
with
the edge of his finger and
he's like, okay.
Each their own.
Last but not least, as he goes and turns and plucks this little cape that seems to be made of, it seems like a small fleece cloak that looks like it's way too small for him, but it's kind of just almost perfect size for a medium-sized creature. As he says, "I call this one the Warden Nightshade." As he drifts it off into your direction. With the Warden Nightshade, unfortunately I wasn't able to get you a mantle of raven feathers, because I don't really have enough raven feathers, so that. Regardless, it's a nice little black fleece cloak that should be able to conceal you quite well. Even without attuning to it, it gives you a little boost to your AC. But when you attune to it, it grows sentience, and it has a little bit more of a reflexive ability to block attacks. And that the little clip on it can be used as an arcane focus. As the cloak kind of drifts down to you, you can see on the front of the cloak is a little clip that has a kind of raven's head on it.
Is this for me?
This is for Lokir.
Okay, sorry, I was really confused there.
Figure. So pretty.
Not exactly my style, but I'll make it
find
work.
more raven feathers.
Or more not so disabled clothes.
One thing I'd like to emphasize, because it's a little weird that he has the raven's head clip on it, because you never really told him you were a matron of the Raven Queen.
Oh.
Okay, can I insight check that?
I mean, yeah, you can go ahead and make an insight check.
Not proficient insight, I cannot help you. A good insight though.
Could have been worse.
On a 16, this looks intentional. You're not entirely sure if it's because of the special commission for the matron for this cloak of raven feathers. But this looks almost you look at it and it's not even like a raven. It's like a raven mask. It's like tilted down, but it's like a raven's skull. Not like an actual raven skull, but like a little piece of metal that's been forged to look like a raven skull, painted and crafted to almost look like it's a mixture of a raven's head and the porcelain mask. This looks intentional, and it looks like he knows exactly who you're working with.
So, what's the deal with a little pin here? I mean, I assume it wasn't part of their order.
Oh, you asked for a a cloak of raven feathers, and I couldn't provide a raven feathers, so I just gave you a small little raven head on the little clip.
With a
Could be a good
blank
arcane focus
mask.
if you don't already have one.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Let's go with that.
Well, I believe that is everything. Unless you all wish for something a bit more.
I believe we couldn't ask for more at this point. These seem to be some lovely possessions.
Very much
Alright,
so.
very well. I unfortunately need to get some of my own rest and get myself get myself prepared. I've got devils to fight, and you've got Ceramorphs, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It's very exciting work. I wish you
Very
farewell
much
on your
so.
own ventures. I am going to bed. I need some well needed rest. But
Indeed.
first for Zeus. But yes.
Agreed. And have a master craftsmanship lacking in rest.
Right.
Be on our way. Thanks again for these boons.
Of
Yes.
course. Come back any time. This time with some coin. As I noticed that cape looks pretty good. As he points to Akamaro.
Yes. Haven't gotten the chance to test it yet, but I'm excited to.
Hope you don't get the chance. Hope you do. I don't know if you are into fighting or if you'd prefer not to fight, but good luck.
I'd like to
either
know
way.
it works. I would really like to know that it works. Would be the best part.
Well, the only way
Not to
you
doubt
have
your
to-
craftsmanship.
Well, the only way you know to know if it works is to test it out.
Yes.
Anyways, I bid you all a farewell and a good luck on your journey.
Thank you.
Okay.
No.
So you all step out. Morgan, with the information that you had requested, do you want to do anything with that information?
No, not really. It's just curiosity more than anything.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so you all have your little trinkets. I actually need to give you all access to those trinkets. Give me 1 second. So John,
Step,
there is your Warden Nightshade, and dip-dip-boo.
Good to have a new malice.
Jason,
Back in
there is your
possession.
your recall hand axe. You will all need to spend some time attuning to those items to get the full effect of those, which you can probably just do on the venture to Polyphemus.
Which we will. I know I will. Upside down on the roof, on the ceiling, and then prick my finger with the scimitar so it's more infused with my blood.
Okay.
That's how I attune.
You do also notice that on the scimitar, he has specifically fastened a little spike. No, more a hook. Exactly where you had it on your old scimitar.
Usually that's part of the attunement process. I use the blood to forge the blade a little further. That way it never leaves my side. He's
I'm gonna be
always
honest,
been
you
so
really should have gone
detailed.
into Blood Hunter. I feel like that would have worked so much better for you.
It also sounds like a hex blade.
There are still feats that just came out for the new source books.
Blood Hunter
Oh, yeah.
And I
Initiate.
can use them.
Don't I know
Yes,
it? As soon as Taldori became available on 5e tools, hell yeah.
It's on 5e tools? I didn't even notice.
Idol sacrifice, I believe. vital sacrifice.
Anyways, so
That's
yeah,
it.
you have your vestige, you have your little boons from Hephaestus. Morgan and Sutton, do you want to do anything specific while this is all happening, or are you kind of just watching? Or do you want to do you want to request anything that he might have available at the moment?
Before he slumbers.
I think I've got. I've already got something new to play around with. I think I'm good.
Okay. Morgan, do you want to do you want to request anything? Like special
Does he have
commission?
anything that? Oh,
Special
sorry.
commission. Sorry. Special commissions for certain very specific items are like a day's process. But if you want something like simple, like a +1 something, or like a plus, maybe even a +2. I know Akamero got a +2 cloak in the last session, but not in the last session, but in like the session prior. But if you if you want to get something like simple like that, it would cost a bit, but
I mean, there is an item on the wish list, as it were, but I don't know if I'm allowed to. Is it just uncommon items, or? Because I was thinking glamored studded leather, just for the sake of blending in. But that's more of a. What's the word? It's more of a flavour thing than an absolute requirement.
let me
Glamour
look up
leather.
exactly what your glamour and stunning. Okay. I'd say it if you have light armor on him on you, it would just be a 50 gold enchantment, and he'd be able to do it like right now.
Dang. Just out of curiosity, how much would I have started with
It
in
is
terms of gold?
the amount of gold you have in your background times 5.
Oh, so literally 50.
Oh shit! Yeah,
I
exactly
give
50.
him all my money.
So you could spend all of your money on this one. You could spend all of your money on the one enchantment, or
Mhm.
it's up to you.
Yeah.
All right. So you can expend 50 gold, and in about like 5 minutes tops, he kind of whacks it with the hammer quite violently. You could see the anvil is like humming with all of this different, with this like deep blue magic. You recognize kind of like the same coloration of illusion magic, kind of just whack as he just is whacking away at it. And in about 5 minutes time, you can add glamored studded leather to your inventory. And by 5 minutes, I mean right now, because it's been 5 minutes. Sure.
You control time.
Yeah. I
Yes,
am the
very
Time
much
Lord.
so.
So yeah, you can add glamored studded leather to your inventory. With that, does anybody want anything else specific? Or does anyone want to?
Probably too much to ask, but if I could in some way get the ability to cast mythic stuff like once a day or something like that, that'd be very cool. But again, I imagine that's too much.
I might have that. 1 second, as he just like spends a whole ass minute kind of just sifting through all of these, just sifting through his stuff, trying to find something, and he seems very drowsy and like very dreary, and and like occasionally he'll bump into like a shelving unit or like hit his head on the back of the cabinet, just not having the best day.
Yeah, this is definitely not a good day.
At some point, he kind of has to move out from behind the anvil he has, and Morgan and Sutton can see firsthand these robotic legs that make up the lower half of his legs, and as he kind of as there's like bits of steampunk and brass, and also some forms of collection of arcane. It almost looks like it's specifically conjured with magic just so that it doesn't break on him. but nevertheless, he eventually kind of shuffles around, and eventually, at the very bottom of one of his shelving units, he finds, ah, I knew I had that. And he turns around quickly and flicks it down towards you, and 2 inches from your face is now this little ring.
Whew.
That
This
is
looks
a
perfect.
1 use per. I think it is a long rest. Might be a short rest. 1 use Misty Step.
Nice.
Lucky
How much
you.
do you want for it?
It was in the bottom of my cabinet. I'll say 50 gold.
You could have said like 200, and I would have borrowed the money for it. All right.
Do you want to pay for 200 of it? I will gladly take 200 for that wing.
I do not have 200.
Don't
you are very
give
bad
prices
at
you can't
bartering.
give, bro.
You know that, yeah?
Brother.
I just said I appreciated the price. That's what I meant by that.
Yeah. Not declare
Okay.
tabs or sell
Yes.
swords. We don't do tabs.
Okay, so you can retract 50 gold from your inventory and instead replace it with a ring of Misty Step.
This is my favorite item, regardless of what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a good one to have.
It might change depending on this ruby, but
That's a
That's
good
for you.
point. This could
That's
blow
for
up
you
the
to find
sun
out.
or
You have
something.
You have no idea what the fuck is on this ruby. Hephaestus has no idea what's on this ruby, and it's all the more fun for it.
Oh great, yes. You sure you don't want me to use your ruby just to test fire it?
If we find out it's very potent, I'd like to find that out not by killing you.
I've survived worse. An
We have no idea what
explosion.
this is.
We won't know if it's worse or not.
Have you had a dragon breathe fire on you? Because that seems to be about the scale we're looking at here, if I had to guess.
I
it-
have not. I've had dreams of it though. Very invigorating dreams.
If
As
I
the
may
DM who
interject,
knows exactly what is on this ruby, I encourage you absolutely do not use the ruby on Arya.
Fun. Not use on. Well, if you want to take the risk, so be it. Shall watch you perish, dear brother. I'll be sure to carry on your name.
Okay, so you
But
all
please do
make
die
your
a
way-
valorant death.
So you all make your way back to the docks. Does anyone want to do anything else before making the journey?
Who was the person that originally escorted us to the council?
To the council? It was one of, I believe it was.
Comatose or whatever.
That's a good
I-
question.
I don't remember his
Little-
name, but I was supposed to have a conversation with him, but I
Oh,
never got
you
to
are
finish.
talking about Cassian. Cassian took you back to the docks after you had met with the
Yes.
council. Yes, Cassian
Yes.
Ashford is on the Windbreaker.
Yeah, that's where I'm heading.
Okay. So yeah, you make your way up the docks, and you can see the crew is kind of preparing for departure, as they seem to be prepping to be sent on their own quest. As Alephis kind of acknowledges your you see Alephis is up on the upper level at the steering wheel, kind of just talking with one of the other crewmates. This like weirdly like hulking automaton that just looks very old and craggly, like if Igor was much older, much more bulkier, and an automaton. But he's currently just having a conversation with this, and then he sees you approach on the ship as he walks up to the railing and looks down. And he's just like, "What you need, Loki?"
I have an unfinished conversation with Cassian that I would like to finish before heading off.
Ah, yes. Well, he is currently in the lower decks. I believe he is currently tending to our storage supply at the moment. Don't, please don't go too hard on him.
Ah, depends.
And he resumes his conversation with the automaton. So you make your way down the ship. You can see all of these manner of like mercenaries that seem to be flooding the area. You also see some familiar faces from the syndicate, like Makari is there. You see Alphys obviously. But at the, you go 2 flights down and you find that Cassian is like hulking these barrels often into one position of the place. They look heavy. They see bits of like rations kind of pour out of the barrel as he like lifts it up, and he just looks as he sets it down and then turns around to pick them up, and he looks up to you as you're standing at the stairway, as he says, "Hi."
Hello. I'm here to finish our conversation.
Yeah. Oh boy. He like scoops up the rations and places them down into the barrel, and then doesn't even turn back. He kind of just rests his arms on the barrel as he looks and he says, Ugh. Turns back to you, kind of leans back against the barrels, and he says, I don't really know how much you know, so you're gonna have to help me out here exactly what kind of conversation we're looking for.
What do you know about Kamenos in Kidamonas? Because one
Menos.
of you apologized for it. Which,
I
I mean, if you apologize for it, you kind of taking accountability, no?
Kamenos was... okay, Pluto apologized for Kamenos. I had no idea about it. I'm completely honest with you right now. I was... Okay, so... I have to go back a bit in my head. It was like 5 years. So... I was not recruited by the syndicate when that happened. Honest to God, I was not. Honest to the gods, honest to the not the council, the syndicate. I was not recruited when when we had shipped Kamenos back. Maybe Alphys was. I don't entirely know. He was already recruited when I was recruited, so I'm assuming he was already recruited, because I was recruited when we capsized. From what I was told after the fact, Kamenos found out about this whole thing. Found out about all of it, and it was through spying on Poseidon. And when Poseidon eventually caught Kamenos, and Kamenos declared that she was going to preach to the high heavens about this betrayal of the council and this ploy, Athena had cursed her, turned her into a gorgon, and we were in charge of taking her away. Taking her to the... We were originally planned to take her to Silva, kind of just drop her off and let her leave. Apparently, the syndicate really liked Kamenos. So they they managed to assign Captain Alephus to man the ship, and Alephus, along with a few other people that were on the ship, were supposed to try to convince Kamenos to join the syndicate. It didn't go well. Not only because of the capsize, but because apparently, because when Alephus had gotten the opportunity to question her privately, she just didn't want to be a part of any of it. She just didn't want to deal with the Ilios, didn't want to fight with the Aenis. She just wanted to be sent off to Silva, and that was that. And Alephus said sure. The syndicate wasn't gonna force her. They couldn't. They weren't going to. They would be no better than the Ilios or the council. What happened with the ship capsizing? That dude's not on our side. Whoever the fuck that was, that ain't us. He ain't with us at all. I don't even know if he's still alive. I don't even know what that was. But when I was on the ship, I was not recruited by the syndicate yet. In fact, when the ship capsized, I was snagged by this thing. I don't even know what the fuck I got swallowed by, but it was a massive fucking beast. All I saw was like a squid face in like 30 feet away before it lunged forward and it just engulfed me. And apparently, I was mistaken for Kamenos because Pluto was going to give it a try. Pluto was apparently going to give it a try to recruit Kamenos, but got me instead. So after a bit of kind of convincing, I joined because I wasn't gonna fucking go back to the Ilios, and I wasn't gonna stick around to find out what the fuck we were dealing with, what capsized our ship. And apparently Alephus and the rest of the spies of the syndicate were able to survive as well. They kind of got transferred over to the Aenis. The spies kind of got transferred over to the Aenis, while Alephus was able to just waltz back in, saying, "Hey, I'm the son of a god, so I'm fine."
Okay, so it was just a wrong place, wrong time sort
Wrong
of thing.
place, wrong time. I was in the same scenario as you, except for I don't even know what the fuck happened to you. You're missing your eyes, for God's sakes. What the hell happened there?
Quite a bit. The other person,
You also have a
the other
tortoise?
person that, yeah. It was, the other person that, Oldsmeyer, I believe he was called. It's been quite a while. He got killed, by, well, I don't know what the fuck the things were, but they were not from this world. And then
Was it the Ceremorphs?
the whole Sitsu started. No, it was the person that started the whole Ceremorph thing.
The person
then-
who started it? You know who started this? Dude, that's been a fucking mystery for 5 years. You have that shit? You know that?
Yeah, I was there when it started.
What?
I saw it happen in real time.
Dude,
yes.
that whole shit, that's still going on. Mornaraga just got evacuated. That was the last stronghold in Silva. We're about to waltz in on a completely raided continent of Ceremorphs. Nobody fucking knows who's at the helm of it because everybody's fucking dying trying to find out.
Well, I thought it was something to do with the council, but
It has nothing to
not.
do with the council. If anything, the raids we're doing gives us an excuse to deal with them right now. Our whole raid, when the four winds make their way, when the three winds in us and when the three winds in all of us all go to Silva to go find the Trojans, that just gives us an excuse to try to deal with them.
yeah, I wouldn't get my hopes up. You're going to get slaughtered.
Oh, that's
and
very
then
fun. That's
turned
very reassuring.
into
Thank you, Lokir. You're being very
yeah,
reassuring right now.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. No, don't worry about it. That's I mean,
I
why
thought
would
me
I lie to
explaining
you? There isn't
exactly
any
how the
point.
fuck I had nothing to do with anything would kind of lighten your spirits, but instead you just tell me I'm gonna die.
No,
That's
no,
great.
no.
Very awesome. Thank
It
you.
doesn't come from a place of malice. It's more of
I
a
had nothing to do
What do you
with
mean?
this. Honest to God, I thought you were
yeah,
dead.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, I know. I'm telling you. I'm not saying that you're going to die because I hate you. I'm telling you you're going to die, so you're prepared. And dying isn't even the worst part. After dying, I mean, you'd be lucky if you did. Because if you don't die, then you're going to turn into one of them,
I
probably,
think I'm
or
gonna
maybe
try
worse.
to
I
see
don't
if I
know. It's
can
been
get on the
5 years.
dissemination kind of group. That group. I think I'm gonna try to warn other people instead of get onto whatever the fuck this is. I ain't dealing with that. No.
Yeah, Silva is beyond fucked, unfortunately.
That's great. Great.
Yes.
Because we need more. We need more shit that's against us with the fucking demons and the council. Why not an
Look,
entire
because
Ceramorph horde?
I don't plan on telling the Asphodel Syndicate that because I don't particularly care. Um, the thing going on in Silva has to do with. Would my character know what a Nilithid is? Because I assume he,
No.
like, the first thing he saw was, you know,
You would know.
like the
You
first
would know
Nilithid.
exactly what you had seen. You would not know exactly what the fuck you had seen. All you know is
Yeah,
it's
okay,
just like
yeah.
this weird race of squid people that you have never seen before.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll describe one to the best of my abilities, and then all I know about them, they come from another world, and they want to take over this one. I think.
No fucking shit. They have a
And
whole virus
they
on.
yes, and they killed. So the person was helping them by experimenting on people, turning them into creatures, and then they came over and killed him.
So
And
that the whole Ceramorph thing was intentional
yeah,
for the they wanted that.
yes,
That's so weird. Why
yes,
would you
yes.
want like these very animalistic shitheads? I don't know. I've only heard rare things about them, but I don't know anything about these Ceramorphs. So it just doesn't seem like good planning to kill the guy you're having experiment on these before he's able to properly give them some form of fucking sentience.
Look, I don't know exactly what happened in that last meeting. It was a shit show. People were dying. I had to leave.
Oh, yeah.
For you know, and also grab a turtle before I did.
Of course.
Yeah,
Why not?
it was quite the shit show.
Silva is
So I don't know
a fuck
exactly
ton.
what happened. I think they had a falling out.
Silva is just a
Anyway, you can.
madhouse of fey creatures all over the place. Like, did you hear about like Sylvanas?
Mm, should I have?
Make a history check. You were on the island for 5 years. Why not? Or on the continent.
Oh.
You heard about it?
Huh.
But like, actually no. With a bit of description from Cassian, you recognize it. You recognize exactly. You almost exactly. During that final confrontation, there was a third person that showed up. A being of like. A being made of trees, almost like a treant almost. But he showed up and started attacking after all hell started to break loose and started attacking the head honcho that seemed to, not Altsmere, the head honcho, the other head honcho. He basically, and you recognize that you had seen that person before, but more as like a smaller, almost like an avatar almost. As he says, yeah, yeah, that fucking Sylvanas was the had had like literally made Silva the way it is now, and after 1,200 years, that motherfucker died. Like at the very beginning of the Ceramorph virus. A giant fucking tree in the middle of the capital just gone.
Yeah, I don't know how much your syndicate cares. I
Oh, we
personally
care a
don't.
lot. We're worried. Like like the thing about all of this is we're not just worried about what's going on with the Aenes and the Ilios. We're worried about everything. We're keeping tabs on everything. You went with Alephus, right? You saw did you see the Three Kings?
Yeah, I was with Aleph.
Yeah, those three like handle everything. Like they're in charge of figuring out everything all over the world. Like they knew about Silva, they know about what's going on in Beator, they know what's going on in the fucking Golden Hills for all of all places. They're everywhere. Now, whether or not their information is useful in this current situation, that's anyone else's guess.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. The Ceramorphs surely won't cross over to another continent. Uh-huh. There's no
There
way
were
something like that would happen.
there were sightings in Milaverta. The Merchants Guild.
Yeah, I mean, that's not concerning at all. I mean, another race from another world just coming to take over this one. I'm sure it will be fine.
Yeah, totally. You know, while we're also dealing with another being of darkness, fucking Eris, who's also trying to do the exact same thing. Why not have two of them? Why not?
Well, it was nice solving this misunderstanding between us.
Yeah, it was. I guess it was
I
nice.
I have
Thank you for
to
informing me about my
go
impending
now.
doom.
I mean, you can always just jump ship, you know,
Oh yeah, I think I'm definitely
instead of
going to
going to
go
your
and
death.
see if they need more people to go after and go and see if like if we can go like if they need more people to go warn other people about these Ilios, I'm all for it. I'm jumping on that gun first thing. I am not dealing with that. Not again. Well,
Good luck with that.
there's that. Anything else?
No, no, that's everything.
Okay.
I have to go and sail as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry everything went to shit. There's nothing any of us could either of us could have done anything about it. But hope things get better. Hope you find whatever you're looking for in Polyphemus.
Yeah, I'll turn around and leave.
Okay. He just turns back to what he was doing before, and you leave. Do you just go straight back to Domus, or are you going somewhere else now?
No, Domus.
Okay. Anybody else want to do anything? Last call before we make our way to the island.
If we're living.
All right. Sounds good.
Tune, yeah.
So, you all begin to with Domus and your 2 galleons worth of soldiers that you still have. All at the ready, all at your behest, Viserys. You begin to make your departure. Are you all staying on Domus, or do any of you want to go onto the 2 galleons that are also available? Which, by the way, Morgan, uh, Morgan Sutton, they have 2 galleons worth of soldiers at their behest. I believe it was a total of, I don't fucking remember. Hold on. I don't. Um. But yeah, they have that. Do
20
either?
something,
Okay. Good
maybe
to know.
30 something.
I think it was like 32 something soldiers. But
I know we had
could.
75.
Had.
Then the majority of them just went necrotic dust in the
Yeah.
ocean, and then the other half decided to be with us.
I think it was just
Well,
one like
their
half
portion.
of a squad that went with Captain whatever his name was.
We lost people a
Oh, yeah.
couple different times. The
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
necrotic fire was only a small portion of our losses that day.
Yeah. I mean, the
I think
majority were
one
either
person
bowling
actually
balled
died
by
to
a
the.
boulder or lasered.
I think one person actually died to the to to the actual wardens of the island, and then another 10 died to the Nahuatl. But it is a majority that are still alive, so
Yeah.
yeah, you
But
got
yeah,
that going for you. As I'm trying
small
to.
majority, but they're a
You,
nice
you, we
majority.
can't forget about the ones that died on the ships before we even got to the land.
Yeah, that we barely even told Viserys about.
I'm sure he
I
got
think
an
we meant.
accident
Oh yeah, I
report
think
or a casualty report.
you did. I think you did actually
Yeah,
tell him already about about them,
he
and he was
did.
kind of just like, "Well,
We were like,
that's how
yeah,
it
don't get.
goes."
you don't
Unfortunately,
you don't
hoping.
you don't sail without breaking a few eggs.
Line on that copamine over there. So
All right.
Okay.
As for the ship breakdown, I'm good to say on Dennis or go on another ship. I would probably encourage Viserys to take a ship with either by himself or with, whoever else is leaving Domus, just because captains should be captains.
captains should be captains.
How many beds are there in Domos?
Only one, unless you want to sleep on the floor, or if you somehow defy gravity like me.
Or if you have
You're
a
not sleeping
bedroll.
in a bed.
The question is, how many free beds are on the galleons?
Also a
There's
good
probably
question.
so originally there were 4 galleons, and I don't think you've lost half of your crew. So now kind of the soldiers are all kind of almost cramming just slightly, but there's not really any free beds. But
Stay on
I
Domus.
guess you sleep on the floor
if you have a
anyways.
bed
See,
if you have
maybe
a
you can find a
bedroll, you would
potato
also
bag to
need.
sleep on. Yeah, that too.
Is there not
Sleeping
like a
bag.
captain's quarters?
Captain's quarters for the
There's
captain.
I I mean that's up to Viserys. I think there should be like a there's like a captain's quarters, but it's more of like a meeting, like an office, more than it is a bed.
Navigations.
Ah,
I
is it?
cannot
Yeah.
for the life of
Okay.
me find this campsite. Anyway, moving on. Anyway, so yes, you all. So Karan just sits there patiently. It's probably been about 2 hours by the time you. Well, no, probably more than that because of smaller hours. But you all eventually. Uh, you all eventually depart. Viserys, are you going on one of the galleons?
Yes, I'll be on one of the other ships. Um,
Okay. You know from your previous experience sailing, it's just going to be a single day's worth of travel. So, you should be all good to go. But yeah, so you all,
So long as we don't run in those starfish again.
yeah. I think
We
by the
killed all
time
of
you
them that
make it
exist,
there,
probably.
by the time you make it there, it'll be like nighttime. As you all, probably just like sun setting to like probably moon rising at that point.
We could
But,
stay on the
yeah.
ships the first night before setting up camp next tomorrow.
Okay. So Viserys is going on one of the galleons. Is anybody else going on the galleons?
I think I'll go on one of the galleons.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going on the same one Viserys is going on, or are you going on a different one?
I'll go on the same one.
Okay. So, Sutton and Viserys are on one galleon. Everybody else on Domus.
Works for me.
Yep.
Okay. Doesn't really matter unless I roll really low. But anyway, but yeah. So, you all eventually pack up your things. Your crew just begins to restock, funded by the council. So you don't have to worry about rations. And you all eventually pull out of the docks and begin your days-long journey. So,
Attunement
me do
time.
DM, can we retcon? I would like
that's a low roll.
Milan to be on the other galleon.
what's up?
Milan to be on the other galleon.
Oh yeah, sure.
It makes most sense because he's got seafaring experience.
Okay, so Milan is on one galleon. You and Sutton are on another, and then all the other people are on Domus. That works.
Yes.
Okay, and with that, it goes swimmingly, uneventful, even, as you all make your way to the make your days-long journey to the island of Polyphemus. Would anybody like to do anything during this time?
Attune.
Other than
Yeah.
attunement, yeah.
So
Attunement, maybe
everybody
work on more other things.
everybody can begin attuning to their items, if they hadn't already.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else specific? Or shall we just make our merry little way over to the island of Polyphemus?
All right.
Who else is on Domus?
Very well. So, you all...
I had a question.
Yes. Hey, what's up?
Sorry. Real quick. When we're tuning, while Viserys is attuning, he's practicing on basically the center mast,
Okay.
and goes to throw the axe. Can he recall it, or is it an automatic
At
recall?
the end of your turn, it returns to your hand. Or let me verify real quick, because I think I'm mixing up homebrew items, but it should be on your item, your little handout that I gave you.
Go back up to it.
This weapon when you take an action, you can choose to instead throw the axe. Axe must have a target to one
I'm sorry. Okay.
okay,
yeah.
I didn't. So no, sorry, I didn't
I didn't
actually
scroll
write it
down.
down. So yeah, in from one action, it'll like boomerang itself in a straight line, 80 to 150 feet, and then come back in the same action.
That's some rope
All right.
range on a freaking hand axe. Jeez.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. If nothing else, then we skip a day's worth of time, a day's worth of planning, a day's worth of venture, and a day's closer to the end. As we finally make our arrival in the dead of night to the island of Polyphemus. And we're gonna take a break. It is currently 1:35 for me. I'm gonna say in 10 minutes, so 1:45. We'll be right back. But yeah, so we'll be right back. 10-minute break, and I'll see you guys then.
Checks out.
We want a challenge.
Okay. It is 1:45. Is everyone back?
Yes, I am here.
Here.
I made myself cheesesteaks and fruit juice like an adult.
Nice.
Okay, but that sounds like the best snack.
It is.
Very good snack.
Daisy, Jason,
Still
and
alive.
Yeah, here.
Okay, sounds good. And with that,
Yeah.
we can get right back into it.
Guess a quick thing. During our little voyage, I wanted to ask Akamero something after we were done with our attunements.
I'm all ears.
You ever had the chance to face one of the arch captains or their subordinates? Who would you want to face if it came down to it?
Definitely their subordinates. I mean, it'd be a lot of people to take on, but like, you know, one big fireball could kill like more than half of them, whereas, one big fireball would like make Ares laugh or something.
Oh yeah, grandfather would definitely laugh at that feeble attempt. I mean, I'm inclined to try to challenge Hercules. We're both people of strength, but nowhere near his level yet.
I was gonna say, you sometimes get a big head. I'm glad you recognize that Hercules is a bit out of your weight class.
For now, I will ascend. You know this one day. But more importantly, if we do somehow wipe away the board clean, and we somehow do ascend theoretically, what should our titles be, huh? If we do ascend, what should we represent as upcoming new age arch captains, huh? Should we represent?
Usually don't pick your title. Usually it's like the things you did to get there,
I guess I'm the Harbinger Queen then.
I'll call you that if that's what you want.
Queen Arya. It has a nice ring to it.
I'll give you that.
We're descendants of war itself, so might as well have fun with it.
I don't think I'm gonna stick to the family name. I'll be real with you. I don't think that's. I'm gonna leave the family business if possible. But
Oh
you're
yeah,
welcome.
definitely.
Mhm.
I mean, it's more of an homage to it. It's not honoring it. Anything would be spitting on their name, honestly.
I mean, like I could see like you could do the same thing, but like dethrone him. That'd be cool.
I'm thinking that, but how would we do that to grandfather? So
If I had to
powerful.
guess, I'd say you'd have to talk to the fates.
That too. Poison him in his sleep, though he might also share the same blood that we do, I suppose, so. Who knows if that would even work? So many ways, but I want to, end one of those arch-captain subordinates or one of them in honorable duel, Face him with nothing more than blades and skill.
Like a one or like the whole group? Because I think the whole group's
One
even
on
on
one. I would not do a whole group. I'm not a fool now, brother. Why would I do, a 1v12? Nah, you ain't gonna win that. Die 10,000 deaths.
Oh, you mean the what? Six, 7 of us against the whole 12 of them, 11, whatever. I don't 12, 11.
We would all die without much progress, so no, I think taking them out one at a time eventually. Who knows?
Yeah, we need to gang up
surely
on them.
I mean, you could gang up on one. There's no. It's not dishonorable to fight someone with swords and gang up on them with swords. Especially if they're a seasoned warrior.
Exactly. We've got to take every advantage we can get with these guys.
I think
Exactly.
even if 100 of us lined up, it still wouldn't be enough. Like, let's gauge this reasonably.
How many? 1,000?
1,000
We
probably
need
on
to
one of them.
get them.
I think
my time.
500 of myself would work.
Maybe. But like, we don't know. I personally don't want to find out anytime soon.
If we
Definitely.
get
This is a
skeletons,
later
we can bang
question.
upon them.
Definitely. This is a
Okay.
later question. This is all theories and stuff. This isn't,
Mhm.
how we should
It's
kill
just
them now. This is if it comes to it, and if we ever had a choice on which arch captain to fight or
If we had to
subordinate,
choose
who would you
one,
take?
I wouldn't want to kill Hephaestus necessarily, but like he's probably the easiest one to fight. You know?
It depends on what form, I suppose, because yes, Hephaestus, you take out his mechanical legs, he's a cripple. Vulcan was a little different, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but like regardless, he could still like throw hammers and automaton at you.
I can
It's-
throw hammers, minus automatons.
Yeah, but like his hammers are bigger than the weight you can carry. I think they're like made out of like the. We can ask next
Pretty
time we're
strong.
there. I'm pretty sure he seems nice enough. Like again, of the council, he's the one I'd at least want to kill.
Exactly, like, if we have the options of sparing some of these arch captains and making them our future subordinates or equals, should start writing down a list of who we might want to bargain for their lives and have them either serve or be equalizers to us.
I think
Or, a hit list.
a list of the treasons you want to commit is probably not one to have physically exist in the world. If
I
you want to write a
didn't say we
mental
have
list,
to write it. Yes, that's exactly.
okay, yeah, that's your business.
I don't think a bag of holding would be nice. They can't shove their hand in a bag and know a list is in there.
I hadn't think about that. Well, yeah, but they can
Tis
destroy
true.
the bag.
That is true, but just trying to pocket space is a little overkill.
I could do it.
Could you, without killing us, though?
Well, I mean, they just like hold it above your head, like the 30 feet tall they are, and just pull it open, and that's all they have to do. I mean, like, pocket spaces, I know, dangerous stuff. I'm not sure an arch captain can be killed by mundane means. I don't know if
that
you
is
can just like stab one of them to death. It might not be possible.
with the right weaponry, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, something Hephaestus forged like specialty probably, but like, like you can't just like pull some sword, even if it's like super durable. I think it'll just bounce right off.
Akamero, make a
I
history.
mean,
I
would
hope
one of
not.
Hephaestus' weapons work against him? Do you know if he
I mean,
could have built a failsafe in?
there's no way he would build a failsafe in.
You asking
Now
for a
Arya's
history check?
pushing this. Yeah. Does
Akamero, make a history
this
check.
Hephaestus build failsafes in his weapons? Yeah. Make
You
one
never
as
know.
well. Geez, that's a good one.
On a 29. Jesus Christ.
I like having these stats.
You
They're good
remember
stats.
the meeting you had. You remember where they told you they were from. You also know that the vestiges of the Nahuatl were specifically designed to kill them.
I was under the impression that it was for Eris. Is it both?
It is for Eris, but it was for a general all of them.
Okay, so it's like down her entire empire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
They were
the
essentially
weapons
the
he forged
vestiges
for
in the
us.
Nahuatl were basically built to stop her.
Alright.
weapons he forged for us, could they harm him? There's no fail-safes against what Hephaestus built for us, right?
Oh, are you asking?
Our arcane check my sword for that.
He can make things. I don't know what the limit of what he can make is, but I'm pretty sure he can make like fully sentient physical creatures, automatons. He could probably put a failsafe in here in one of our contraptions without telling us. I'm sure my cloak will like spontaneously combust if I like say something, and or if you're like, if I try to stab him or something.
Either
I'm
of you can make
arcane check my
checks.
sword. Yeah, I'm arcane checking this. I'm a little.
Will my
Aria's getting
ruby actually
paranoid.
kill me?
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, Malice,
on a
you're not gonna
22,
kill me,
you
are
are
you?
familiar with magical weapons, and even more so on a 26 to Arcana. I don't know why I want to keep saying arcane
Is it with advantage?
checks.
I shouldn't be rolling with advantage. I thought that's a mistake.
You know that weapons forged, specifically weapons enchanted, can be dispelled or can be set up to literally explode in your hand. Looking at your ruby, it doesn't look like he's done anything to the ruby, but looking at the blade, examining the runes, it looks fine, but there's a few runes that stick out. A few runes that don't look like they should be there.
Oh, that's not good, wee devil. As I'm looking at it, how could he?
Be careful.
He. Nakamura, what did these ruins say? You mind putting your brain to use here with me?
Can I read them with my 6 languages?
No.
I only know I only know 3 languages.
And Akamero, you can't decipher them, and specifically, and you would know this from immediately first glance, because this is shit you know. This is Celestial, and nobody has deciphered Celestial.
Comprehend languages can't do that?
Arya, you recognize some of the runes because Arya, you recognize some of the runes because those runes were on the previous blade. When you linked, or they've been on weapons before. Certain enchantment runes, and some of them look like they are slightly off, just slightly different, just for a different enchantment. But there are some that are very stark in contrast compared to the runes you're normally used to.
Yeah. When I do attunements, I tend to infuse it with my blood, so blood runes do appear every now and then. Yeah, there's a few odd characteristics on this one. Now I'm pissed. How dare he do this to the blade I was looking forward to?
I was telling you, you gotta be careful about those, that casual blaspheming. They're gonna get you.
I mean, it's not like I could cripple him with his metal legs using this. Now with a hammer, can do some work.
I think his steel is harder than diamonds or whatever. I don't.
Yeah.
You did see that his legs were enchanted, considered magical items, and which cannot be broken.
His other form doesn't have metallic legs, right?
You have only seen his Roman form as a walking suit of armor, with burning with internal flames, kind of like it almost looks like a fire elemental encased in this hellish-looking armor.
Could I?
That's not fun.
Honestly, it looks something straight out of Beator more than it does Abyssalus.
But we got half automaton and full automaton, essentially. Oh boy.
Could I make some sort of insight check to see guess if that is him or if that's literally just an automaton because he's just so busy?
You want
Go
an identity
ahead and,
check?
Roll a history check. Well, no, actually, you would. I'm gonna use the history check, the fucking 29 that you rolled beforehand.
Did I roll history?
You remember remember the conversation, the meeting that you all had been summoned to. From what you could deduce, their Roman forms are their true forms, and their true forms look a lot more demon-esque. Vulcan is probably the most standout-ish one of them all. The rest kind of look like very generic-looking demons, or are too concealed in armor to even be recognizable.
Yes.
Okay.
Lovely. So yeah, guess the only thing that would give him away is actually his legs, but not really because one's a half suit of armor and the other one is a full suit.
True.
One more reason to find the vestiges.
Exactly. Destroy and usurp.
Should we get that tattooed?
That's actually a great idea. On
It'll
our
be a
backs or our
bonding
arms? Where?
experience.
Where do
Maybe
you want
like
it?
across the
Do
knuckles.
you guys even have like a team name? You guys don't even have
We
like
have
a
a
team
slogan
name, and you guys are
now.
thinking about matching tattoos. That's great.
Blood brood? I don't know. I mean,
I think
we're a
that's
blood
just
brood.
you. I don't know if that applies to all of us.
If you
I
want,
mean, it
like,
applies
if
to
you
us
want a
too.
team name, I'll say like if you want to all discuss like a team, like a group name for all of you, I would probably assume that like Ithaca would basically be like, okay, so these people are going to this place, these people are going to this place, but they would be titling them by like their group names. So when they got to you, they'd be like, okay, these sell swords. Like even John, even Lokir, when at the Asphodel Syndicate, there wasn't really a general name for you all. It was literally just the Patir twins and their allies, is how they were titled.
Oh. Oh dear. Oh, lovely. We're famous. I
So
knew
if you want to
I
come
knew
up with a
Hades
group
didn't
name
have
like
too
right
much of a
now,
sort
you can totally do so.
workshop it, I'm pretty sure. I mean, us two, we're just blood brood, us two.
You are.
Oh, you meant related. You didn't mean like we all do blood stuff, because you're like the only person who does blood stuff.
Yeah.
And you're only related to me by blood. We're sellswords. I mean, that's what I put down for our sellsword title was the blood brood.
We have a sellsword title?
Sellswords. Remember, story, man. What's the cover-up story? We were sellswords, yes. And I enjoyed it. We still got some money off of it.
I always just said we're sellswords. I didn't. We were supposed.
You didn't want to embody it? Man, you're not a great actor, brother. I had more faith in you.
I could pretend I could like convince you were someone else if I really wanted to. I don't. We don't. Even,
I'm sure
don't.
you could. Sure you could, but you wouldn't.
Well, yeah, 'cause that's
At least
ridiculous.
not while I'm
The wizard to be
conscious.
a
Yeah,
sellsword.
exactly. You'd have the decency to do it behind my back. You wouldn't tell me up front that, hey, you're living a lie. Because that would just be hurtful.
We've done that to several people. That's like one of our favorite conversations to have is, hey, your gods
Yes.
are fake. That's...
Exactly. Exactly. Such a good one. Oh, well, I'm gonna go sleep on the ceiling now. Hopefully we hit landfall soon.
Yeah.
Okay. So with
Sweet
that,
dreams.
does anybody else want? Sorry.
I just said sweet dreams.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Okay. So does anybody else want to have any conversations before you make your way to the island of Polyphemus? Then I bring you to the island of Polyphemus. So yeah, you all make your way to. In the dead of night, you find yourself arriving just a few hundred meters away from the shores of Polyphemus. It almost looks exactly the way you left it. There are
That sucks.
spires that are dotting. There are small spires that are dotting all around all of these waters that originally you couldn't see because of concealed fog, but now the fog seems to have dissipated, and now you can see all of it in its grandeur. On the shoreline, you can see the wrecked ships of what you only remember as the A-Team, which actually, now that I think about it, you guys still have the corpses.
I
You guys still
have
have those
the
shits.
ornaments from. I
Did
don't
you
have the
guys do
corpses. I
anything with those?
buried.
I thought we
I
buried them.
buried
You
and
I
burned
think
some
you
of
buried
them.
some,
I have
but you kept I think I think you kept at least
gauntlets
one
and
of the
adornments.
one of the
of-
important
yeah.
people of the Adorned.
Yeah.
I guess I'd say Gorham Jr., but I couldn't imagine anyone else.
I kept the gauntlet of the prophet child. So
Okay, but yeah,
First-
I
the
just
ships,
look at
the
that when we
ships
arrive.
the ships that you had left behind are all the waves seem to have picked them up and placed and kind of toppled them onto the shoreline. You could see the two ships that you had lost in your venture here are still there. The shores look shallow enough so that the ship that Viserys had lost is still poking out of the water, while the ship that was incinerated by Thanatos is kind of vivisected and is kind of made its way onto the shoreline. And still sitting there is the slowly decaying corpse of what Sutton and Morgan see is almost looks like a massive octopus made out of plants, and like a plant-like octopus with like coral-like vines that look like its little tentacles. That's kind of just
Thing was
resting on its
disgusting.
side, capsized.
Are you saying that you guys did that?
We killed its smaller parts.
You
I
remember
just assume that was either
Viserys
the mother.
specifically did that.
All I know is I threw a hammer at one of them and it just exploded. They were fun to smash. It sucked that the prophet child of the first voyage didn't make it.
What?
Oh, that reminds me. We partook since I think you know that me and my dear brother are people from Aeonides. Or at least that's what people would assume us to be, but it's true.
Morgan, you can redo that history check with advantage this time.
Thank you.
Are you aware of that, or are you nuts?
Slightly better.
Roll with there is an advantage button on the character sheet.
Yeah, it's just taking a minute to try and send it through to the VPT in difficult.
If you want to, you could just roll history check twice. It just picked the
Fine.
Let's talk.
Come on.
Low or snap?
For whatever reason, it's decided it does not want to pull through, so I shall do it other way. Yeah.
We have access to your sheet. Maybe DM can roll it.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Only
14 and a 4.
On
So.
a 14, have Arya and Akamaro addressed their last names?
Patry.
Uh,
Tier Patry.
Pater, I think.
Tear.
Actually, I did
From
look
what
up
I
the.
remember, it was pronounced Patir.
Yeah, I looked up the Latin later. It's way different, but we bastardized it.
And you
I mean, Arya always does that.
and Morgan, at the mention of the last name Patir, it immediately clocks in your head like a strike of lightning. The Patir twins, through a not so longer family line, which I can't remember. You remember Patir twins, Arya and Akamaro, children of Phobos, son of Mars.
Parfine's look didn't give us away, that is.
I mean, there's
course.
there's other people who look fiendish. We're not.
Nearly as
We
soon
certainly-
as this.
We don't stand out in Aeneas. Like people in Ilios, they sometimes they don't like us, but like generally in Aeneas, we're pretty cool.
I mean, our culture is a warrior-based culture, depending on what we decide to take up as a profession, but
True.
regardless, we partook in a campaign that involved this little trinket, as I just show you this tiny little gauntlet that probably a gnome or something had, but a smaller race had it. This was owned by a child directly born of an arch-captain. However, that child partook in the campaign and fought on the wrong side. But it wasn't even the wrong side either. It was a farce because his father decided to lay down his life as a lamb to the slaughter instead of a warrior's death to our grandfather. So they had a mock duel. He died in mock duel. Then we just started slaughtering all the companions. Of course, is the reason why I have this on my face. This lovely scar. His radiance is a bitch, honestly. Otherwise, he clearly didn't make it. He was assigned to this island and clearly had a lot of devout faith. Council that took him in.
I didn't know he was willing to sacrifice his own blood.
It's worth
Yes.
noting, I think, in all of this, that Son of Gorm was a cat, and
Yes,
You
a 3-foot tall tabaxi. He would have been a worthy one to kill. It's not every day you get a direct descendant from an arch-captain. He would have definitely blossomed. Poor fallen prophet child.
you seemed rather upset that you couldn't kill him, which
Exactly! With his power leaving me an everlasting scar that most people can't even remove through traditional means. Ends up dying to nothing more than sea life and plants. It's a pathetic death. It would have been better getting sliced in half or being turned to mincemeat with my hammer.
I think that would have been more
No.
satisfying for you, but like, I don't think there is a death that's not pathetic.
I mean, a warrior's death, I think I would love it if I was, I don't know, decapitated, stabbed in the heart. Honestly, be able to get my last words out. It's probably the best way to go.
You know, you lose your bowels when you die, right? That's a thing that happens, and somebody has to like
Get my
clean that
last
up.
words. We'll get those last words out somehow. We'll see. We'll just magic it to
No, I mean,
existence. Don't
no,
worry.
you can say some last words. You're going to poop yourself. So, put simply, that's a thing that happens. And
It all goes loose.
mhm.
I only had a honey cake, and it's been what, like,
Did you eat one of
been
those?
years since I last had solid food. I did.
The ones that are supposed to be magic or whatever.
The ones that are
Yeah,
supposed
it's
to be
magically
reserved for the temporary hit points? You guys would have had the benefits of a long rest anyway, so you could have recharged those.
Did you make 3 special ones and then 3 mundane, and then a bunch of mundane ones so that we didn't eat the special ones?
I don't know which one I ate. All I know was she presented a platter, and I took one off. That's all I know. I don't know which one was which. Just said honey cakes, and they smelled good, and I ate it. It's been, I want to say it's been 3 years since I had solid food and not blood from an animal or my own brother. So,
You should do that more often. It's generally a good time. I don't know how
Hey,
how that affects you, but like,
it
I'm
affects me
surprised.
quite well. Blood is pure nourishment for me. I don't need to rely on solids too much.
The regular food. Like, I get you don't need it, but like, is good.
Land ho!
Oh yeah, it's definitely good. Those honey cakes are good.
You should start hearing. I'm watching Critical Role Campaign 3 right now, and they're all they're all interacting with their Campaign 1 characters. This is that, but surprisingly, weirder. Like, you're just talking about
I think it's
Iron
darker.
Claw, like it wasn't one of your previous characters. Is so weird to me.
I try to detach
I don't know.
from
I don't know
that.
how I
Hey,
feel
hey,
about it.
it's getting into character. It's getting
Anyways,
into character.
you all
One
are
was
interrupted
maimed by a
as
cat.
you just hear the distant sound of one of the crew members on either side of the galleon just shouting "Land ho," and you can feel
we're here.
Domus begin to shift as you realize you're already on land. You guys have already made it to shore, and Domus is now making his slow rise up to the water, out of the water and onto the
Wait, I
desert.
fall off the ceiling. I'm glued to the
It
ceiling.
almost
what
like
you mean?
shakes a bit
There's no
because it's been
turbulence
so
here.
long for Domus, because he's just been in water this entire time. So he hasn't had to use his legs in like 3 days. So he's just like shivering a bit, trying to keep his weight up.
Get the
But
pins and
he
needles.
admitted- he admitted- As the two galleons
Oh.
begin to dock in the same area that you had before, and you make landfall. You can now see that even more so, this whole place looks like it was paused in time since the last time, as you could still see the track mark that Domus had left as he plowed his way through the woods to get to the campsite from before. Just a
Yes,
straight
it's
beeline
impressive.
from the shoreline to the clearing in the forest where you had originally set up camp.
Yeah. Fair warning. I don't know
It
if you've
is-
been on this island before.
It is nighttime right now,
One.
and it is and the island is yours.
We'll definitely set up a camp
That was
first light,
ominous.
but fair warning, this island had two things on it. One, there are sheep on this island that are way too big for some reason. They were a little smaller than the second warning. Intimantite Golem guarding those tombs, and the reason why we have something older than I would even say a zombie would be considered.
Sutton, you
That
can make
thing
a perception
is
check if
barely
you'd
a-
like.
You know, I wonder, given that Charon's quickly appears to have changed roles since his position was invalidated. I wonder if the golems here have possibly had a similar transition.
So long as they didn't memorize our faces, I think we'll be fine. Enjoy our
According to
first
their
encounter.
programming, they should. According to their programming, if their objective is no longer relevant, they will retain a deactive state until their directive can be fulfilled again. If we're lucky, they are in an emotionless state at the moment.
You terrified me. You are very good at standing still for very long times.
Yeah, he's been like
forgot you were
3 feet away from you, towering, just looking at the shoreline, just constantly looking.
I've just been upside down staring at this guy here and there. I'm like, he doesn't smell any better. It's old clothes and rancid death. It's a wretched smell. I
Sutton,
can't believe you guys
you-
tolerate this.
You're talking with Arya, and Arya mentions these massive like sheep that are way too big to, and over the shoulder, or at the very least under the shoulder, because she's upside down right at the moment. But under the shoulder, past Arya, you catch a glance of creeping out of the woods is just this massive fucking sheep. It's like large sized, and it
Oh,
just
there's one right there.
and it slowly trots its way out, and it just clobbers around. Like, it looks like it's like just wandering, grazing a bit. Little midnight snack.
Wonder if
Question: are the sheeps in your guys' experience nice or not?
wonder
That-
if we're-
Our first island,
Little
our first trip here, we
activity.
were really concerned about that because they could like just eat a man if they wanted to. They don't
Yeah.
appear to want to eat people or anything. Like, yeah, they're chill.
I ate one of them. It was really good.
Okay.
I wasn't there for
That was
that.
gonna be
I should have tried
interesting
that.
too.
Well, you weren't there to provide me sustenance. You went inside a cave. I was dying, and I didn't want to exactly bite Loke here, who bravely carried me, who was also pretty banged up. I would have killed him if his nourishment. That's why I said, bring forth the sheep on a silver platter, and so they did, and I partook in it.
For the record, I
So
didn't
easy,
abandon you. We were all dying. It wasn't like a.
Never said you abandoned me. You just ran in the opposite direction of safety.
That's
Hopefully
true.
they don't remember that you ate one of their friends, because they might not be as nice this time.
I think that's just what sheep do. Is like they just wander around, they get murdered, and they keep wandering around. That's what I know about sheep. This isn't my field of expertise, but like, That's the thing. That's the thing I think I know about sheep.
They're stupid. I don't think they memorize faces very well. Apart from those golems, they ran the moment the ground started shaking.
That's true.
Destroyed
But that
an
might be just more
entire
reaction to the
town.
phenomenon. I think when the ground shakes, if you're a sheep, when the ground shakes, the only correct thing to do is run, regardless of who's making the ground shake.
That is true. I feel like some of them have to make the ground shake, though, especially those rams.
I'll probably like.
I bet they make them too.
I don't know the spell for it, but I know there's a spell that lets you talk with animals. I should like ask them at some point. I don't imagine sheep are riveting conversationalists, but that'd be a fun thing to ask, I suppose.
Magic can do just about anything, and you are the magic expert.
Well, that's what I try to be.
Exactly. I mean, I'm only mundane compared to your power.
Viserys, what is your game plan
But
as
hey,
you make your way onto land, as you make landfall? What are you essentially commanding your troops to do? You are also muted, by the way. Jason! Jason!
Jason?
There we go.
Oh.
I saw you on mute. Almost got you. Halfway through.
Halfway through.
There we go.
Sing for
There
me.
we go.
What is the game plan
Sorry.
for the for the Hellenic militia?
Hellenic militia. Yeah. So we pull up. Alright, men, secure the beach. Set up a perimeter. Move inland a little bit. No, I guess no. Let's bring into the woods in the middle of the night. So we're gonna stay on the beach.
You do see that
the
there
night?
is still like the skid marks and the clearing that Domus had literally just plowed through to get to where the original campsite was, which was just like a clearing in the middle of the woods. So if you want to still
Right,
go back to do that exact place, you can, or you can set up camp on the beach.
Almost take us all the way back there? Or did he just decide to starkly make his way there?
Are you asking me?
Almost is out of the water.
Domus is out of the water, and the
What?
two galleons are docking at the moment. And I'm just asking Viserys what he's doing at the moment while you two are talking about speaking with sheep.
Yeah. Great conversation.
Viserys gives you order. Alright, men. Terrence, we're going back to the clearing. Follow the tracks left by the giant turtle.
Okay. They give a sir, yes, sir, and make their way and begin setting up the same camp site as before.
I wonder if that brings back any PTSD for them after what we told them last time they were here.
This time they'll find out their life is a
I'm
lie.
gonna look out the window.
I think they were probably more
out the
concerned
window
about
upside
the
down.
shattered ship on the shore. That was probably like a bigger concern. for them.
Necrotic.
There's an array of
Oh, yeah,
shattered
with the
ships
necrotic energy.
on the shore. You gotta be more specific.
The
That's
one
true. We
with
did destroy
necrotic
half of our
rotted
ships here.
You destroyed half of your
Yeah.
ships. There were 3 ships here already.
The
Yeah.
ship that got exploded by dragon attack, I think, is the one they're most concerned about. Because like,
Oh,
a
they
couple,
saw that
like,
on the way out.
yeah, that was, yeah, they definitely saw that,
yeah,
and they're
that was
seeing it
not
again.
Yeah, none of this is
These
news
soldiers are.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are they? What's their facial expressions? I'm looking down, upside down, at the window.
to them. Make an insight check.
something I'm so great at. Brother,
I'll
help
give,
me
I'll
out.
give,
I need
I'll
to
give
read
him
their
the help
faces.
action. Yeah.
Okay, you can roll with advantage.
How
2
lovely.
and 1.
17, not bad.
Okay, on a 17, you look from upside down on the build of Domus's cot, and you can see as they're all coming in, there is an array of people with worry on their face. There's an array of people with melancholy on their face, and nobody looks happy to be here.
Oh
Jesus
yes,
fucking
they're so
Christ.
happy to be here. Such a
You are
lovely
now the
time.
evil alignment.
Oh come on.
Fucking
It's
chaotic neutral my
I can have a
ass.
laugh.
Chaotic neutral.
Oh, poor
Chaotic neutral.
soldiers.
Everyone should die if they're weak.
That's not true. They're serving their purpose right now.
You
They're
exist to step
battle
on
hardened
That
soldiers.
landmines.
sounds
They're
more
veterans.
lawful evil.
I'm pretty sure you've pretty much said you deserve to step on a landmine.
I never
You
once
saw
said
everybody
that.
with just like fear and trauma in their eyes, and you laughed.
It's a nervous habit she has anyways. I mean, she's undead, she's a fiend. I'm pretty sure it's a genetical disability at that point, so.
Okay.
Battle
So it
hardened
takes a few hours, especially because there's not as many people as there were before to set up the camp. But eventually, yeah, there is a campsite reassembled in the clearing in the woods, and it's pretty close to the cave. Do you want to go just right now, or would you prefer to rest for the night?
Night.
We
Sure,
had
we
plenty
should
of rest. I don't know. I mean, the journey was pretty uneventful, and we got a good night's rest before. I'd say probably leave the troops to set up camp, and we venture into the cave.
I told you how
Rested.
much I
We can go.
don't like the dark sky. I don't really like the night sky. I
You're
hate
a
to tell you that. but
creature
sure.
of the night. What are you afraid of in the dark?
Well, first off, I wasn't born a creature of a night. I was born a creature of the flame, and then became a creature of the night. Just know the night was not very helpful to me. The solid year I spent in Ravenloft, it was not fun,
Arya is
especially after the transformation. Didn't
Arya
realize.
is the child of a demon. You were never born of light, ever.
Yeah. Said
Your
fire.
brain
I
did
didn't
by
say
like a
light.
holy thing.
And once upon a time, we could have been called Holy Crusaders of War.
That's
That's more
not-
true than you even know. How the fuck? Anyway. You are more correct than I think you
it's the
realize,
god of
but
war.
carry on.
I mean, that's just the God of War's teaching. I took it to heart in magic. Two of the greatest things. Bashing skulls, while also casting incantations. It's the both worlds. What can I say?
Okay, so the soldiers set up camp for the night. You get the sense that that the whole reason you're here is literally just to get the Nahuatl. So if you go now, there's really not a point to set up camp, because you could just go now and head and probably be out of here in a couple hours.
Sweet.
If you want to.
I
But if
mean,
you want to,
I
you
guess
can
I can
still set up
tolerate
camp.
the night. Plenty more to investigate on the island, right?
There was nothing else on the map, was there? It's this was the only thing here.
The only thing here was the Trojan.
So I think we can just make this an errand run. This doesn't have to be a
Yeah.
large event.
Hulk.
Get it done.
We'll let Viseros know.
So, alright, man. Turns back to the troops. Actually, change of plans. Just secure the perimeter. Leave the tents packed. And, just secure this position.
Okay. Do you want to bring any of your troops with you into the cave?
No.
So
No,
they will begin to set up a
they would be
perimeter,
better.
Come on, bring at least.
not only at the shoreline, but they'll also set up a perimeter outside the entrance of the cave.
Might as well bring 10 to 5 men with us.
If we don't have to, if we don't have to chance risk any of them in the cave, I'd rather not.
And I
Hate
mean,
the
no
fact
offense to
you're
your
growing
soldiers.
on me.
The only thing they achieved last time is dying, really.
Us.
So
They did save us, so I am slightly indebted
That's not
to
true.
that.
They were quite good bowling pins, okay?
They were. That's why
They
she
were
was
quite
mincing her
decent bowling
words. She was
pins, you know?
not to be blunt. It's her words. Like she didn't want to say like, oh, you know, they all got either disintegrated or flattened. I almost got flattened. That was not fun. Here and escorted by
Oh, yeah.
soldiers. Fun that trip. To mention my hammer did clean to it.
Okay,
I love my
so
hammer.
you all have the troops begin. Viserys, you command your troops to set up a perimeter around the docking area and outside of the cave, and you all venture in alongside Karan, who joins you. Because he kind of has to.
What does the night sky look like right now?
It is.
Do we got a moon out?
There is a
Stars?
moon. You know the moon, Jackie, is gleaming out in the sky. It's what is it right now? It is a last quarter, so it is a half moon, with the left side of it being moonlight.
Lovely.
I know this. I made a calendar.
Love.
Anyway, so
Love didn't have
so yeah,
much sunshine,
you all venture into the cave, helmed by Karan, who kind of ventures forth. He offers to go first because if there is any sort of discourse, because he's aware of your discourse you had with your last encounter. So he's willing to go in first if nobody will oppose.
Yes, please do. Yes, please do.
Right?
I mean, I could always just send my raven in first, see how things are in there.
If you would prefer to do so, you may.
I mean, it's better to know if they're up or not, right? Instead of suddenly coming up on one.
I mean, they should recognize this dude. So.
Okay. If you're sending in your raven first, make a perception check. Does your raven have dark vision?
The raven has the same vision I do,
Oh,
I
so it has
believe.
Devil's
I'm
Sight,
not
okay.
100% of that.
Warlock
I'm
familiars
not
are key.
100% of that.
Okay,
but-
so it can just see everything. Very fine. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll with.
Warlock has Devil's Sight. I'm pretty sure your Raven does
You can roll.
too.
Yeah,
Literally an
it
invocation
was-
can just give you the fact you could see everything, even through magical.
I love it
frequencies.
so much. It's the best.
That's
Warlock supremacy.
ridiculous. Okay, so yeah, you can go ahead. On a
Keeper's better.
31. Fuck, dude, these plus 12s.
Holy crap.
Man. These plus 12s.
I don't have.
I'm not even gonna. Okay, anyway. So
can see
on a
everything.
31 perception check, literally a natural 19, you venture into the cave. With the using your raven, flying around. It takes only a couple seconds to get to the massive room of the cave that you actually hadn't seen before. This is all new to you as you kind of survey this area and see the limp bodies
Braxton.
of Nahuatl golems. Not just the one that you had seen in the cave. There are multiple.
That makes me very happy.
There are
Yeah.
6 in your current vision at the moment, but you can see more down further down this massive room area. On the floor in the room you can see this spell circle that seems to have been placed in the middle of this room, and around you can see there's bits of ruined architecture that seems to be fit for more humanoid than the Nahuatl. But looking at the Nahuatl specifically, something seems off. On a 31 perception, they're not limp because they're deactivated. They're limp because they're destroyed. There are
Oh.
all of the Nahuatl in this room are broken, severed, vivisected, even some of them. I've been using vivisected after I learned about it. It's really cool.
How recent?
They are in ruin.
This isn't a recent development, I hope.
Can I see for any tracks, maybe, or if the thing that did it is still in the area?
On a 31, they are not there anymore. You survey the entire room and there doesn't seem to be any appearance of life, but there definitely seems to be some form of appearance of struggle. But you're not entirely sure what it is. There are footprints. But they don't catch your eye in any way. Let me actually take a look at the thing so I can actually.
These
tell
weren't
you what
recent,
the tracks
was
look like.
this?
Akamero.
Incursion.
Well, do you relay this information to everybody?
I
Yes.
hope so.
Akamero and Viserys, they were all working perfectly fine and operational 3 days ago.
Oh.
It has been
No.
3 days since your last encounter with the Nahuatl, and they were alive, functional. You were running away from one of them, dealing with me. We're not even questioning to deal with the other 11 that are in this room. But they were all working, functional, perfectly fine 3 days ago.
Yeah, send this guy in first. Just like you said, they're destroyed. Oh, really like that?
Karan looks aghast. And at the mention of it, he ventures into he starts making his way into the cave.
Oh, well, follow suit.
Okay. Give me 1 second while I actually try to figure out. I can give you more information on like the tracks you're looking at.
Did I make a survival
Also-
roll if we do come across tracks in here?
Yes. And Akamero and Arya can do this with advantage.
Advantage.
John, what were you saying?
Yeah, so while I'm going inside, I'm going to have my Raven basically swap with me and have it survey outside.
Okay. You are
Some
blind,
survival
by the way.
Akamera.
You can't. Are you being guided by somebody?
Yeah, I'm going to ask Arya to guide me around again.
Yep. Hold your hand. I'm holding your hand. Hold on tight.
Okay. So, looking more closely at the tracks, low here you see what appear to be footprints, 3 toes, scratch
Toes.
marks, what looks to be 3 gashes. Like the gashes are all the claw marks that have pierced the Nahuatl are all in groups of like 3.
Any
And
creature
there is
that's
no
like
sign,
that?
and it almost looks like
Oh.
they are devoid of the arcane that gave them life.
When we came here the first time, the information we had suggested that there was only 6 here. Is that something that we believe is held true, and that these came from somewhere else, or is that like, do we think that's like a backstock that wasn't active?
From the looks of it, that's actually a mistake on my part because for some reason I thought there were 12. But yeah. So no. Instead, you only find 5. You only find 5 bodies.
Okay.
Oh, so there's one still probably roaming then. or
Akamero,
injured
you
if
know
we-
where the last one went.
I do.
That's right. The pit. Didn't want to fall in,
Oh,
you
it
said?
fell into yeah, it fell into the
You
pit.
told me about that. I
Down
was
the
laughing.
chasm.
That was a good one. I remember you saying that. What kind of creature has 3 sets of toes? One
On a
that we know of.
17 and a 19 on your survival checks, you see that it almost looks like the arcane that was in their that was giving them life, giving them a soul, is gone.
Oh.
Completely ripped out of their bodies. Not physically, but it's gone. Completely. These are inanimate objects, non-magical items, basically.
Can
So
we?
they were drained.
Sundered in groups of.
That's more of
sundered
an
with claw
Arcana
marks
check
in
than a
groups of
survival.
3, footprints in groups of 3.
What about those
And you
footprints?
find-
Do we know any creatures?
And you find.
Yeah, can we track that to a power we know of?
You know,
Yeah.
you recognize it.
Okay.
A very powerful
boy.
demon called a Nambasu.
Oh no, Mbasu. I don't know that as a player, but Ares, he knows that. Ugh. No,
Hold on. Let me just
this
send
is
you
not
a
fun.
photo. Let me just send you both a photo of Nambasu.
Please do send us Mbasu. Let's see this crowd.
Oh, he looks friendly.
They are
My Discord's still loading.
They are medium-sized fiends. But from the looks of it, there was an entire flock of these that attacked.
Oh,
That's just my cat when I don't.
makes sense now. That's literally just that's an imp on steroids. What are you talking about? That's just Batman having a rough day. What is
You know that these
I don't
demons
like-
are specifically
oh.
feared by. These are. Demons have. You know that from Akamero, you know from your research. Demons have few rules. Very few. And the murder of other demons hardly raises an eyebrow among these fiends. The act of devouring souls is something else. For this reason, most demons shun Nabasu and force them to live in the fringes of Abyssalus.
How do you spell Mbasu?
But now they're here.
Oh,
Now
there we
they've been here,
go. Okay.
and they have ripped and teared through these Nahuatl.
Oh, we got a Nabasu infestation. That's not good.
I
Should've
was
got
worried
more
that something
soldiers.
just, like, I was worried
Or
something just
passive?
like destroyed these. It's not good that this happened, but
It's not. My passive
It-
perception's 9. If that's
Okay.
what you're asking.
Lokir, because your Raven is not present, your passive perception is you wouldn't be able to use your passive perception because it's outside.
Raven
Viserys,
with you, boy.
Sutton, Morgan, what are your passive perceptions?
16.
16 from Sutton,
My passive perception 14.
14. Viserys, you are muted again.
Nabasu, lovely. You know, I've only ever seen depictions of these things. Thanks to you, brother, I will be forever haunted by those.
Jason, what is Viserys' passive perception?
15.
Okay. Okay.
It's 17, right?
Sutton, you said 16, yeah?
Yep.
You came down into the cave with them?
Yeah.
While you see Akamero and Arya observing the Nahuatl corpses, which, by the way, what is everybody else doing at the moment as Akamero and Arya are examining the corpses and have at this point deduced that this was the work of Nabasu, which none of you even know what the fuck that is. Lokir, I know, is using the Raven outside.
Yeah,
and
and I'm kind
currently
of
beside
tired to,
Arya as they're examining.
Sutton's
Sutton-
probably just looking around because she's like, this is entirely new territory, and she doesn't really know what to be doing right now.
Okay. What is
Stand
Morgan
on
doing?
guard.
What is
I turn to
oh,
Karen and I ask, what does this mean for us?
Not good.
Viserys, what is
So-
Viserys doing? Seeing the 5 corpses of what he had feared only 3 days ago, alive and well, now destroyed.
Yeah. Hands on axe, and is keeping an eye out for anything skittering about,
Okay.
quite intently trying to locate anything. Looking around, do I see where the tracks are leading to?
Make a perception check or a survival check, whichever one you like.
Survival's good for tracking.
My perception's better.
I don't think
They
so.
are everywhere. They are just chaotically everywhere. It looks like these Nabasu, whatever they are just we're just going all over the place in this room.
Sutton's gonna look at the 2 that know what these things are and is gonna be like, so in your experience, I know that you don't have a lot. Do you think that there's a chance they're coming back, or that since they're dead, we're fine?
So, did this happen exactly 3 days ago? Like the state of these now
The state of these-
deceased antimantite
You're not
golems?
sure how long ago it's been, but Akamero and Viserys both remember that 3 days ago they were running away scared. You all remember running away from these Nahuatl. And now they are
Yeah.
dead 3 days later.
So,
At this
have
point,
been
Sutton,
right
as
after
you
we
are
left.
Sudden, as you are examining as you are like kind of looking around alongside the Petir twins, off to the left side of the room there is a massive chasm that drops down like an ungodly amount. Even with you can't see the bottom, but as you're surveying the room, you hear a noise come from the chasm. The sound of pounding on stone,
Oh.
and it's getting progressively louder.
Something's coming, and it's coming fast.
What do you mean? I'm gonna look in the chasm and listen. Not good at perception.
You have dark vision?
I have dark vision, yes.
Okay. 60 feet?
Uh-huh.
At this point, as you're getting closer to the chasm, you can hear what Sutton is talking about. You cannot see it.
Oh. Hey brother, you said one fell in the pit, right?
Yeah, there's no way he climbs out. I mean, he's a big hulking golem. Zero
It's
chance. that he-
climbing out right now. I hear it. If you want to come stand next to me, you're more than welcome to. But it sounds like it's probably climbing out, or it's asking us to let it out.
Okay,
And
so
I don't want to be near this, as I'm now backing away from the chasm.
yeah, get
Okay,
away from the
where's that
chasm. I
mummy
don't, I
at?
don't have levitate this time. Don't get near that chasm.
Okay.
Oh, that you should have
You
told
are
me that
backing
before I
away from
even
the chasm.
attempted
You are
walking
backing
near
away
it.
from the chasm. The threat
Yeah.
has. This threat from the chasm has been addressed. What is everyone doing?
Can I,
It's the mummy.
So I have Eyes of the Grave, where I can see if there's anything from 60 feet that's undead, and Arya's probably gonna ding. I just want to know if that thing's within 60 feet.
Anything else?
If
Oh,
there's anything else undead within 60 feet.
The only thing, the
Don't
only
have
undead
anything
within
for
60
fiends?
feet is currently Karan. And even then, you're not. It's not even undead. It's just construct.
Okay.
But
anything
still
for
comes-
fiends? That would really help.
So, Karen, you said that you could make the golem see reason. Does that still stand if he's approaching us rapidly, presumably
I
with
would be
hostile
able
intent?
to see within reason, but we all have a semi-sentience. If this one has been one that you had faced and you had sent this one down the chasm, it might not be as easy to convince.
I
Especially
throw
when
him
we
if
are
I
surrounded
tried,
by
he'd
the corpses
fail.
of its brethren.
Well,
Do
my
you-
brother said it tripped into the
Yeah.
chasm, so he's not directly responsible.
I think
Is
he'd
that
still be
how
mad,
it
though.
specifically fell?
I don't know. I don't remember at this point. It was too chaotic to know if he was chasing us and he fell in, or if he just like stumbled in because he was around it.
Are you asking me, or are you saying that out loud?
Yeah. I guess I will ask that out of character.
You remember
I'm
that
pretty sure he was chasing. Yeah.
Viserys had blinded the creature, and then goaded it into charging towards him.
Oh yeah.
And then that's what the nat 1 on the dexterity save got rammed off the edge, and you casted levitate on him.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty explicitly our fault in a way that it would be mad about.
One of your faults. It's not yours.
He doesn't necessarily know I assisted, but Viserys is here, so
John, at this point, is Lokir bringing back the raven?
Yes.
Okay. It
Okay.
flies back and shoots
Perhaps-
onto your shoulder. Are you looking down into the chasm?
I mean, I know what's coming, but why not? Can't
I think
help
I'll
but-
probably
it has been addressed,
corral
and
Viserys.
it has been addressed, and everybody's assuming that it's a Nahuatl golem.
I'll probably
but
corner
we're
me
not
Viserys
sure it's
somewhere
alright.
else.
No one has seen it yet.
I'd like to take me into Viserys and like move us into a corner. I don't know if we should necessarily I don't think it's the right way to fully leave, but definitely hiding isn't the worst option.
Okay. I will give you all access
Would
to it on that.
actually stand behind Karen.
That's
Uh,
actually
Using
not a
that
bad
you
spell,
idea.
know-
place yourselves where
I'm
you
gonna
would like to
look-
be.
I'm gonna talk to that undead dude. You know what a Nabasu is?
I am Nahuatl.
No, Nabasu.
Nabasu.
The demons.
I am not familiar with
Reason.
I am not familiar with the specific demons, only that we were tasked with felling them.
Oh, well, they're the reason why your compatriots are deactivated, destroyed, dismantled, whatever
You
word
had
you want to
addressed that
use
already,
for
yes.
past tense and dead. Oh, I say that, I don't know if they're still here. Because we have a raven that we could send down that hole to see what's down there. Though at the same time, I doubt you want to put your arms way.
I will act as representative, and if it so comes to it, I will attempt to assist in combat.
Oh, helpful. Very helpful. Where are we all lining up? Because I feel like we're trying to hide, right?
Actually, I don't think all of us could reasonably fit. But if we wanted to gather on this circle here, I made it work before to where we slipped through the stone. I believe I could do it again, and that would be a functional method of escape, if that is, if we believe that a necessity.
Sure, I'll trust you, brother. You did this last time, and still holding on to Pierre's hand.
Okay.
Perfect.
So all
someone
of you
else hold
are
on to the
circling-
cure.
All of you are clustered around this spell circle on the ground.
And if I could prepare that as an action, possibly.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You can totally do that.
I wanna draw
remember
both
how, You remember
weapons.
how to cast the spell. So you run over to the nearby body of water, scoop up some bits of clay, and prepare
Yeah.
to cast the spell. All you have to do is drop
Drawing
it on the
both
floor.
my
and
weapons.
all you have to do is drop it on the floor, and it'll cast.
Cool.
All right.
Sorry,
With
look,
that,
you're
is
gonna let
that
go
where
of your
everybody
hands.
would like to be at this time?
Probably a little further out, almost outside the circle, like right there. Yeah, that
Okay.
seems good.
Though
Outside of striking
those
range.
those without dark vision, are there people without dark vision at the moment?
I
Yes.
don't have dark vision.
You would be in
Actually, I'll be next to
a
the
state
Theros,
of
yeah.
you would be
Next
in a
to
state
Theros.
of obscured, like of darkness, where you would need provided light. Does anybody want to? Those with dark vision are fine, but those without are in darkness at the moment. It's barely able to be seen.
Well, someone can grab a torch, get some dancing lights or something.
Yeah.
I don't.
Knows
Prestidigitation
it.
can't make
The
like
torch.
pass light.
Could light a torch.
I think you can
True.
light a torch with prestidigitation. I think that's one of the specific things you can do with it.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
I was asking if I could make an ambient light. I don't think I think that's something else. That'd be a full spell, I think.
No.
I think that'd be dancing lights if you're trying to do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Also, just
Arya
daylight.
knows nothing. Lights. That too. If someone wants to cast light, that's also possible. I mean, if someone had. Actually, no.
I
not gonna
have
say
light.
anything.
Do we want to cast it, or are we trying to hide?
Hiding doesn't appear to be an option. This thing can see in the dark
Yeah.
pretty good, to my knowledge.
Yeah, it won't matter. So might as well put on a light show if reasoning
this point,
fails.
At this point, I
Or
think
all rely on
fireworks
that.
is not gonna hurt our situation.
I will point towards like the top of the cave and pick a spot. Cast light on it.
Okay. I think you have to touch the item in order to cast light on it. If I might be wrong.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of that's on me. I'm gonna pick up a rock, kind of put it next to the circle,
Stone.
and this is gonna be our
Here,
light
get
stone.
behind me.
Okay.
Shove Loki behind
So
me.
And
you
then,
are,
Not go in front
yeah.
of me.
Yeah.
so
that's
you are lightly illuminated. What is the radius on it?
Lights.
It is 20-foot radius. Can I actually
Uh,
set it like so it's 20-foot radius of being bright light and then a dim light for an additional 20 feet?
Yep.
Can I set it in such a way that the circle's in like dimmer light?
Give me 1 second. I'll give you access to just a light source. Okay. Okay, so you said 20-foot bright and 20-foot dim.
Yep.
Here, you might want to stay behind me. Not nearly as durable as I.
I mean, if I need to, I can teleport away before.
I mean, to each their own, I suppose.
maybe-
Just keep that raven on your shoulder.
Okay, so there's the light. You should be able to move the marker wherever you'd like to place it.
Okay, I'm having a dumb moment for a second. Which way's the thing coming from?
It is coming from
Think
this
over
chasm
here.
right here.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Is that where
Kinda
you would like
love
to
it,
place the stone?
What do you guys think about right there? Or would you rather it be in front of us?
Maybe like
Those-
between the chasm and us. That way we're in the dim light, but it's in the bright light.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which way is it coming from? Someone beacon
Yeah,
it?
right there. In the direction
Coming
that the
from
lights are
there.
now.
Gotcha.
Okay. So yeah,
Okay,
you guys
so
aren't,
I
you
definitely
guys
want to
aren't
be in
the
front of
light,
that
but
angle.
The people, you guys aren't really necessarily in the light, but you are able to still see it as it.
I'm definitely taking a
right.
position up front then.
Okay.
Darius, you wanna join me? You seem to be quite versed in weaponry.
I also want to use my mantle to like hide myself a little bit, just because.
Sure.
Not.
Go
Kinda
ahead and make a because you are in dark light. Unless you go into the light, you should have advantage on stealth checks with the mantle. So go ahead and make a stealth check with advantage if you want to stay in the light. If not, I mean, if you don't want to stay in the light, if you do want to stay in the light, go ahead and roll with normal.
I'm not rolling. I'm in the light. What are you talking?
I mean, for Sutton.
Yeah, I'm well aware.
Okay.
I'm just not gonna do if the option is presented.
So with advantage,
Jeez.
on an
Grace.
8. So with advantage on an 8, you kind of have the understanding that there is a massive clearing in the area. It's like this whole thing is like a flat surface. There's not really anywhere to hide, and from what they have said, it's able to see in this darkness.
Fair enough.
So,
Oh.
this is all your final positions?
Darius should probably be right next
Just
to me.
real quick,
Good idea.
how about we let Karen stand up front and center and try to reason with the golem first?
That's what the undead will be for.
Very well. And he steps forward. I am a construct. I am not undead. As
You
he
sure
steps forward
look undead to me.
into the bright light.
You smell worse than most golems, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, a
last
construct
time-
made out of a construct made out of a skeleton is very
Bordering
sus-
necromancy
Last time,
territory.
is this the final position? You guys aren't really necessarily
Yes.
having this much time. It is not that far away.
Yeah,
You aren't really. Hey, you
I guess we don't have
like
time for
undead.
constructs about or conversations about constructs.
Yeah. They're bordering necromancy territory. It's a weird choice.
Is this
I make
the final
bookmark
position?
that in my
everybody?
head. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm taking up front right there.
It takes about a minute more as you just hear it, this eerie thudding in a kind of steady pace as you just hear it get louder and louder and louder until those without dark vision in the dimmest of light see one massive hand clasp
boy.
onto the top, engraving its fingers in stone. As the Nahuatl Golem, this massive construct that of gray stone, a flickering green eye in the center, almost looks like made out of more of a blocky texture that makes it look menacingly large and bulky, as it crawls out and just barely in your view as it emerges from the hole into the light.
That's no fun.
I just gotta.
And that's where we're gonna end the session up for tonight.
Golem, man.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Oh, let's
so
hope the other construct can persuade.
that is where we're gonna end the session off for tonight. And yeah, I'm having a struggle with this map real quick because I don't know what's going on. But yeah, that is going to be the end of the session for tonight. It is
Oh yeah.
just in time. It is 3 o'clock. Yeah.
That. This honestly has probably been our least what's the word? The least horrifying session we've had. The least terrible
probably makes
ramifications
sense.
for. Yeah.
That sounds about
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
We got some cool stuff. We took a boat ride where we
Yeah,
didn't get attacked, and then we ended the
I want
session
to-
with a bad guys going.
I want to be clear. The reason I was emphasizing are you want like how long you were spending is because
Yeah.
I want to remind you every single day you are in, every single day that you are kind of spending, if not wasting, is just one more cycle in the chaos. At this point
That's
in
true.
canon time, the following day, it's only one day away from, like it's. So you guys are on the 59th night, like it's the night of the 59th, turning to the day to the 60th day. On the 61st day is when Jupiter attacks. Jupiter makes landfall.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Just so that you're aware.
Countdown to the possible end of the canon.
Oh yeah. Possible end of
Draconian
literally
end.
everything, because if that you the Daisy and Sammy, you guys have no idea what the fuck we're talking about, because that happened 2 sessions. That happened just before you all showed up. But I don't know if if the players have fully like expressed what we're talking about right now, but
Nope, we definitely have
Nope, not at all.
Not a clue.
not. We have not told him Jack Diddley squat. I'll tell you that right now.
that's so fun. You know, just
Actually,
non-tell them.
The world's
I
gonna
don't-
end. Don't worry about it.
We kind of created D-Day.
Okay.
Kind of.
We kind of
Kind
effed up the campaign.
I don't know.
Campaigns.
I think we is a bit, too broad of a term.
Two people who will not be named.
Two people.
I think it was mainly one, but
It was two people who made a decision, and then one person got blamed for the results of the decision. But like, they really didn't
So
do
that's how
a
you
whole
see it,
lot.
huh? That's how you see it.
I
That's-
rolled a history check to not make the bad stuff happen, and apparently I didn't roll high enough.
You didn't roll. I literally gave you all of the chances to literally be like, is this what you want to do? You rolled terrible history. You rolled terrible insight. If you had rolled high enough insight, you would have figured out like, yeah, wherever you place a marker is going to get sundered. But
I appreciate the way you said
you
Sunday.
failed both of those. And like I think it was like single digits, and then
yeah.
and then yeah, and I.
And
from
then
what I remember-
five
from-
sites ended up in the fucking Merchants Guild somehow.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of
Yeah,
there's a lot.
we effed up
I
the
was just-
economy too, not even the world.
I want to be
Even
clear.
if we survive, the world economy won't.
So Sammy and Daisy, for context, essentially when they how much context have we actually given to the events prior
I don't
to
think
your arrival?
I don't think we've mentioned the map in any amount of
Have
detail.
we mentioned
Yes.
the map at all?
No, we've just they joined
Tangentially.
here.
Yeah.
One from a patron, the other from the syndicate. So I'm not sure if
Alright,
the
well,
syndicate would have told
at
them
least,
that. Hey,
at least Morgan
map
would
that
probably
we
know
effed
this
up.
because they probably would have been debriefed a bit better by the Asphodel Syndicate as to what exactly was going on. So essentially, what is
Idiots.
happening is I think I already told at least Morgan about the Trojan. I'm
Mhm.
not sure if I informed Sammy about the Trojan.
Yes.
I informed you?
I remember about the Trojan. There's something in my notes.
Okay. So they were looking
But
for a secret.
I know it's
they
in
were
my
looking for
notes.
They were looking for a secret weapon, and they found it here, where this Nahuatl is. It was guarding the Trojan, which they had found. And that little rune circle that you're all around at the moment, that was essentially a kind of, I don't know how to properly explain it.
Gate?
Yeah, it was basically a gate that allowed you when basically revealed a secret entrance to a massive cave where the Trojans were. They found out there were even more locations of Trojan sites. They only thought there was one. There were fucking 30. So then they found out. Then that's when the Asphodel Syndicate reached out and was like, "Hey, this is what's really going on." After Arya and Akamero was like, "Hey, this is what's really going on," to the three people that didn't entirely know. And then
Yeah.
and then the Asphodel Syndicate was I want to reiterate, the Asphodel Syndicate was basically like, go back to Ithaca, tell them you found Squat, Big Shock, the island just off the shore of the Ilios territory doesn't have the Trojan. We'll keep looking for it, and you all keep looking for it as you secretly continue searching for the actual Trojan sites, ending up with nothing. Akamero, or at least the group, all decided to make a fake map to give to Ithaca, to the council, to basically say, "Hey, we didn't find a Trojan, but we found this map of all of the Trojan sites." They wrote 50. They left it up entirely to Akamero. I had Akamero was like, "You know what? Just for the hell of it, just so that I make sure, here's a map. Here's a token. Here's a token for like a marker. Place a marker on all of the 50 different locations you want to all the 50 locations you want to place fake Trojan sites in." He did. I saw them, and I was mortified because a majority of those Trojan sites were in very key locations all across Cerdonia. And Akamero, I gave the option of I want to reiterate, if you had told me, "Hey, I'm going to go research these different locations before I do so," you would have been able to do so. I also gave you the opportunity to roll a history check. I think I even gave you advantage with that history check, as you're like so you are aware of at least where exactly you're placing these Trojans. You failed the history check. I gave you an insight check to basically say, "Hey, roll an insight check to basically deduce how exactly the council will react and how they will go about these Trojan sites, specifically the ones that are in cities and in important places." He failed the insight check. After placing 50 fake Trojan sites in all of these locations that were very important to other groups, I verified, "This is where you want to place them?" He said yes. I removed his access to the markers, and I said, "This fucking place is going to burn." And you reacted with a dancing skeleton, but in front of a backdrop of raging fire. And then quite swiftly, in fact, the session prior to you both joining, they essentially got the rundown, or at least the shouting match with Captain Alephus, the one from before, with essentially pointing out how fucked you have made this entire situation.
For the record, the history check was a partial success because I did realize that Abyssalius, where they're from, is not where they'd know there were none there.
Yeah.
So the only thing I succeeded on was making the terrible map that would doom millions more believable.
You also place certain Trojan sites in the form of a smiley face.
Oh, the smiley face
at the bottom of the continent, which I also said, "Hey, that might be a bad idea."
So
At
then I
least
made it a frown.
Kill millions. It looked cute in the process.
I had to change it to a frown.
But the funny thing
Yeah,
is, okay,
that's
the funny thing is, I'm gonna show you all. I'm gonna give you all access to the map if you all are able to join back into Roll20. The red there's this map of the world. It's the older map of the world. Before I was able to refurnish it.
Oh no.
Look at some of the location. I'm gonna slander you right now, Spencer. I'm sorry for this. Look at some of the locations, specifically Milaverta. You notice something about it? Not only do you have six fake Trojan sites in there,
3.
there is an actual Trojan site on Milaverta. So wiping the slate clean trying to find it, they're going to find it.
Fortunately, we gave them a
The exact same thing is going to
participation
happen with all of the ones in Jotunheim. Or all of the ones that are like right next, or all of the other ones that are literally just right next to to where you have all of these like
They're casting a wise. I thought they were gonna like level a city. I didn't realize they were gonna like level the continents they're
they are
on.
leveling everything.
That
They
makes
are-
sense. Our family's effed.
Fucking
the head.
Heracles and Odysseus were sent to the Mila Verta in search of all of them. Those two
Yeah,
are
not a
banding
good
together to fight. Fucking Hephaestus is going to rip and tear through Beator to look for these 4 Trojan sites that you, thankfully, didn't placed too far away from Stygia for him to deduce that they would be in Stygia.
I might need to like quickly learn the message spell, or not message. What's the spell variant that like
Sending?
covers distance?
Sending.
Yeah, I might need to
Do you have a
like
third?
I might need to like panically get sending and say like, hey everybody, let's not do this. Bad intel, bad intel.
I don't think that's how it works.
That would just make it
because-
worse for you all.
I'll
Yes,
say like
especially
I'll say
for
the
me
I'll
and
say the
you.
map was forged or something.
Too
But
late.
like I didn't
It's a
forge it,
little
like, I
late
found
for
it.
that.
far gone.
A day before we're out, you're gonna say that. Like a day out, you're gonna say that now when we could have said that. Bro, that's not a good.
Literally
They're
2
gonna have
days.
our heads, not even their heads. It's because we're the Patir twins. We're gonna die if we do that.
I have literally
Our
rolled
heads.
all of the. I have left it up to the dice how long it's gonna take for this crusade that Ilias is doing to
You rolled
reach
the lowest
fruition.
results.
To reach fruition. And I rolled to essentially. So Zeus specifically picked this upper token up here because it is a pretty fucking important place. It's one of the 3 most important factions in Zav. Probably even more powerful than Ilias and Aenis. Maybe. We're not sure yet. We're about to find out. And he specifically picked this place. So I rolled to essentially determine how long he was going to take. I don't even remember exactly what
It was the lowest result, though.
what dice I rolled to determine the prep time and the travel time it would take for him. And I rolled 2 natural ones. Literally, so I even caved in and gave it the fastest time, which wasn't surprisingly 1 day's travel from Ilias to. No, I rolled a d4 to determine how long Zeus would be prepping for the trip, and then I rolled a d6 to determine how many days it would take him to get there. They were both natural ones.
Very good.
So I gave the bare minimum of 3 days, 1 day of prep time, which was the day you found out about it, which was the day they found out about it. That 1 day of prep time, and 3 days worth of travel.
I've done nothing wrong here.
What do you mean? You have done everything wrong. You have done everything that is insurmountably unrepairable right now.
Okay, for the record. What
For the
happened?
record, okay?
What happened? Sarah said, "Let's make a fake map." I said, "Good idea. Let's make a fake map," and I made a fake map. And then dice rolls happened. That's what happened here.
Yeah, we can only blame the dice. We can't just blame you. So
You see
Can
the kind
we?
of party you dropped into?
you dropped into the world
Question.
enders.
Is there a plan on how to fix the world getting ended, or are we just ignoring that till it happens?
That was
I
the
wouldn't say
entirety of
we're
the
ignoring
last.
it,
The
but
last
we're
session
doing
was
something.
basically the Asphodel Syndicate basically reacting to this whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, they
that
weren't
doesn't
very
apply.
happy with us.
So
Morgan
is
is
that why
here?
Viserys was having a mental breakdown?
Yes.
Viserys was having a mental breakdown because there was way too much shit going on, and Viserys had nothing to do with it. But
That makes sense.
but it was partially
It was his idea to
because
make the map.
but it was also partially because of Alethus. Morgan is here because of the Asphodel Syndicate. Because of the
So,
Asphodel Syndicate basically
Morgan
saying, "Hey, we're gonna have you do
knows.
this. Completely ignore what we're gonna try to fix your problem. You go and fix our problem by grabbing all of these vestiges. Here is our voice of reason and the moral compass of the party. Here you go, Morgan. Here's this chaotic bunch." And said, "Good luck."
I'm gonna need it.
Yeah, you are.
Oh yeah, you chose the best of the best. That's for sure.
A party more likely to just cause the end of the world you could not find. Like evil
But
campaigns are
also-
less successful at this.
But also, I just want to say one last thing that I have repeated over and over again, but I just wanted to repeat just for Morgan, just for Sammy and Daisy. Look at the map. Do you see all the other players dotted around the map?
Oh.
Do you see certain
Yeah,
locations
I
are
don't. I
linking
know
up
for a fact
between
there
where the
was a
players
red.
are and
Yeah.
where the fake Trojans are?
So
you know,
you're not only okay.
Like
so
one
you're
of the
also gonna
groups
kill
is
all of the
literally
other
in the fucking
groups.
capital where Zeus is about to attack.
Yeah,
they're
and
trying to prevent an
apparently they're
apocalypse right
stopping
now.
Tiamat. Yeah, they're trying to prevent
They are
Tiamat's
currently
rise. Or
they are currently like stopping their like all of this shit matters. They are currently stopping their current plot to deal with your plot.
So
It's a
what I'm
double.
hearing is that really they just helped you get plots.
Well,
I just
yeah,
gave
but
out a
also
free
like
plot
they
to
had
every campaign.
everybody had their own plots. Everybody's doing their own thing. They like even group 4 got a hint at what the plot was for group 3. Everybody who is affected by the choices that Akamero and the rest of the group made are now halting their plots to deal with this matter. Like, this group was originally just going... This group has just been going on a dragon scavenger hunt, a way to collect up this army for an impending threat. Now they're stopping themselves because they're trying to go find another dragon who Zeus is about to recruit in order to sunder this kingdom. And you know who the fucking dragon is? Fucking Charybdis.
Oh no! No one
Zeus
said
is about to
that.
recruit Charybdis, and this party is now having to stop what they're doing to go and try to recruit Charybdis before Zeus does.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no! You didn't say Charybdis. That
I
changes.
didn't say I said I didn't say Charybdis yet because you don't know about Charybdis. You know nothing about Charybdis at the moment. Now
I only
they are
heard of the
stopping
name.
everything because Charybdis is about to get recruited.
Mhm.
Literally the day
don't
before
go-
he makes the attack on Uruk is the day he collects Charybdis. So they have to make so they're basically on a time group 3 is now on a timeline to get from the capital to these two upper islands here where the Amathion mines. They're basically having to race over there just in time to stop to essentially recruit Charybdis before Zeus is able to recruit Charybdis, which is practically impossible because Charybdis is a servant to Eris. He's just another
Ew.
fucking demon of Charybdis. Except for this one is in the size of a giant ass ancient hydra.
Oh. Yeah.
It's basically
we did
impossible.
Great, people. We did
The
such
only
a good
reason
job.
that this is slightly possible is because of Charybdis's isolation on these islands. I hope
Okay,
Group
but
3 is
now,
not currently
I will
watching.
say.
Oh no!
I will
There's
say.
only one
I will say.
person. I hope it's not anyone. One of the people in the chat said, "That's it, Spencer. Play innocent."
Fair.
Okay. Now, I just want to say, how epic will it be when inevitably they get a few pieces of the Trojan, and we have a giant final assault on Ithaca as a party with all the people we've ever met, and it's a massive charge on Ithaca,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's a really cool climactic final battle, and
No,
I help make that possible.
The thing is, Spencer, you are entirely correct. That is what I've been planning since the beginning. Except for it wasn't ever supposed to be Ithaca. You all were supposed to beat your subplots and then come together to fight Eris. Now everybody is dealing with your fucking plot, And there probably is going to be a group event that, at least not, if not in Ithaca, then in Uruk. As Group 6 is also tied to Mezawai. Group 6 being the
So-
fucking
Lovely.
6 people right below in this fucking place.
So, I don't know if you've noticed, but Discord has made it to where you can now put statuses on voice chats. I've put one on that I think does reflect our campaign quite well.
Oh my god.
What did you do?
Metamorphically Doomslayer? Or no, the
No,
the
that's
status
my
of the,
personal note. The
oh,
days
days
since the last
since the
incident,
last
not available.
event. The last incident.
Yeah. I think that I don't know what our party name is going to be, but I think it should be something like the Unsighting event.
The unsighting.
I literally named the session prior, before Daisy and Sammy both joined. I literally titled "What Have You Done?" because they found out quite
Literally.
quickly what they had done. I have thought about this so much. This has literally encompassed my entire being and my entire thought, and I'm simultaneously so terrified and also very excited. Because I want to reiterate, if Group 3 fails, if Uruk is destroyed, the world is fucking over. Because, big shock, they have their own threat that they're dealing with that threatens the entire world of Cerdonia. And Uruk and Mezawai are the only people worried and dealing with it. The rest of the world thinks of it as just a prophecy, just a religious prophecy that they're like Armageddon. It'll never happen. Now, it's gonna if they fail, it's gonna happen, and the world and all the other groups are gonna be on a time limit before the fucking world explodes.
Didn't you say they'll be in the middle of their thing, and then you just said like, also you all die or some crap?
Oh yeah, I'm literally
You
expecting
worded it in
that at
such a
some point I'm going to
way.
say, as you all are chilling happy in the tavern, the fucking world explodes, game over, end of the campaign.
And they're gonna ask, "Why have you done this?" And
Why
you're gonna
have you
at
done
me.
this? No, exactly. Except for they know exactly why. Except for at this point they know exactly why they are going to die. If it happens, they know exactly
now they
why,
know.
and it is entirely because of you.
That is, I think we
As
heard.
Captain Aliphus
there
said,
was a few
there's going
comments
to
in
be a
the
lot of
general.
bloodshed, and as Captain Aliphus had said, there is going to be a lot of bloodshed, and it is going to be entirely on your hands.
Unfortunately.
Can you like?
What?
Can you just
Well,
like in the middle of whatever session it happens, just drop a redux of the map with just mushroom clouds drawn over all.
Oh my god, yes.
All the road.
I'm just gonna prep an updated map of just nothing.
Yeah.
Of just a sundered world.
Just a big old
Of
crater.
nothing.
Just fucking just a massive fucking crater. No, I'm being dead serious. I hope that again, I don't
Well, I mean, I hope we all succeed.
I don't know who
end.
this L trio is, but they're just checking in. Hello, I don't know I don't know who you are, but thank you for watching. I hope you're not any of the other players in Group 3. But I want to verify the impending threat, the prophecy they're dealing with, is the fucking Tiamat. As a Dracolich, born of a supernova, champion of the god, of the one god.
Jesus?
I think it was
the one god that has survived. And if that motherfucker is coming with a mission to destroy the planet, literally planning to drill a hole into the core and blow it up. So again,
no
if they
foundation
fail
left.
and they are no longer able to continue on their mission to stop the Tiamat, nothing is safe. I'm gonna have the date saved on Cerdonia, on the Cerdonia calendar, and when the group just gets to that point in the timeline, they just die. That is literally how it's gonna happen. and
That's
stay
not
so.
good.
And it is
but-
again. You are basically risking the safety of all of these other players.
But the cool thing is,
There are 30 people on this planet, and it is 4 of you that are about to kill all of them.
If and when this happens, you can
Uh-huh.
then have a very cool inciting event for your Spelljammer campaign. You're chilling, and the next planet over, and the planet next to you explodes. And
Yeah.
you say,
People
"Hey, we
pay
should."
to watch that?
I'd probably find some bullshit way of, oh hey, just for safekeeping, in case anything happens, here's a rune of revivify. just have that, just in case something happens. And then it just goes off as soon, just like 2 seconds after the world explodes. And now they're just having an Astral Sea campaign.
You can have a have a like level 13 party, like one shot with just random people from Roll20 to do a time travel thing to prevent my terrible mistake.
Yeah.
Save the
Prevent
Oh my
timeline.
god,
your
yeah.
mis-
No, but that's the that's the problem, really. There's nobody that can do it. There's nobody that would be able to do that. Because all
Not
of the
at
gods
all.
are gone. The only person that would probably be able to do that is gonna. I don't want to spoil anything, but if Cerdonia is gone, fucking Thuristan wins.
That's
I
the
don't
first
know
ever.
who that is.
He's an outer
Well,
god.
we'll
He was
find
the
out
first
after
ever.
that, because I accidentally did something. I accidentally gave a wrong name. Okay, bye.
Okay.
Well, bye. End the stream.